All right, what's going on, everybody? Time to get a little bit of Lost Relics in with a little bit of coffee on this early Saturday morning. Cheers to everybody who's jumping on in nice and early. Let's get this show on the road, shall we? So we're going to try to pull off some bounties here. Let me actually pull up a quick little... see my worksheet, see what dungeons we're going into right now. So if we need some... looks like we're going into Arcane Pits, it sounds like. Going into Arcane Pits it is. Which Arcane Pits is green items, uncommon. Let's get this... let's see here. Okay. Loadout almost ready to go. What's the last thing we need? We need some potions. Well, I guess I just carry them out of habit. We don't really need potions. Let's see here. Make sure the stream's coming out good. We seem to be coming through quite all right. Okay, let me go ahead and post in chat really quick. With a cup of coffee. I need to wake up. Yeah, last night it was like around 3 a.m. and I woke up early in the morning, or I woke up at 3 a.m. and I just couldn't fall back to sleep, so I started grinding out some bounties. Who are we gonna wear today? Yeah, we're gonna go old school. And we're gonna change the pet up. What pet do we want? Let's go with the hot pink chicken. I like the green and blue. Gorgandine, what's going on, brother? I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. I just, you know, we're really close to the end of busy season. Monday's the final deadline, but honestly, at this point, there's very little work that I can do that's left with so much little time frame. So getting back on the grind a little early, if you know what I mean, while we're enjoying a little cup of joe to wake me up early. What did I say I was going? I was going to Forgotten Chambers, right? Let's see. We are going to... no, we're not going to Forgotten. We're going to Arcane Pits. We're in Arcane Pits. Perfect. Let's run this bad boy real quick. Ooh, nice coffee. Gotta love it. Get me nice and caffeinated. Well, how you been? You been doing pretty good? Been catching up on everybody's VODs in the background while I've been doing work. Kind of sucks when I'm able to like listen to you guys and y'all say something funny or whatever. And I think I'm live and I forget that I'm watching the video on demand, and I think I'm live and I want to go message somebody and I'm like, oh wait, this already happened. And you're not rushing for the sand dragon? You see, you're chilling in caverns for XP, mining and fishing. What levels are you at on your mining and fishing? Only one bounty you can do this week? Ouch. A lot of epics. I actually haven't checked how many I could do this week. I know that I just clicked one sword and I just went. So I didn't even look at the higher ends to see what I needed. Hey, good morning. Don't BJ. Or Don BJ, I should say. You're 46 mining and fishing and you need to get 50. You're aiming for 50s? That's pretty good. That's a pretty good goal. What am I at right now? I'm like in that same range as you. I got 150, so 45 and 46 is what I need to get. 45 and 46. Yeah, I think 50 is a pretty smart bet here on what you would want to have before the upcoming update. Actually, it's going to be a really interesting one, guys. Like I remember the last time we had, like I tend to think, and I talked about this a little bit in the past, like I tend to see like Cliff do like one major update every year. In 2020, it was the introduction of all of the skill-based system. He completely changed the game. That was massive. Like he went away from free-to-play. You know, he introduced like two or three more maps. He took away the paid system. He introduced every single skill. He introduced XP. He introduced everything. That was the big one then. And then let's see, 2021. The big one was. Which one was the big one for 2021? I think it was it had to have been the bounty shop. Oh no, the introductions of the bounty system and then the bounty shop shortly after. Like that was the biggest thing. Changing the way changing the way people went into dungeons. Back then everybody was just going into dungeons like you're doing right now to mine XP. And there was like, that was just like the only thing to do. Or like that was the only strategic, I guess you could say, thing to do. Like that's how people chose to spend their time. And then he introduced the bounty system. Now it gets a little bit more complicated because people are thinking stuff like, oh, like maybe my time is better spent grinding out some chests, or maybe my time is better spent skipping nodes and killing monsters because I have to go to different dungeons to complete these bounties. Hey, Ivana's in here. What's going on? What's going on, Ivana? Nah, definitely not ignored. I think you and me are in different time zones, right? Because I caught you early in the morning. I guess you're still playing. Have you been playing this whole time? Because I just knocked out. I went right back to bed. I did like 2 bounties and I got tired and I went right back to bed. And then I woke up right now. Gotta love Saturdays, right? Love that. Probably no alarm set. Maybe not. You're probably right. I don't have really any alarm set. I normally turn them off because of how many people I follow. But we'll be turning that back on for sure. What did I miss? No striker on Twitch. First time chatter. Oh, I see. No striker on Twitch. That's the one that I missed. Actually, I am on Twitch. I was meaning to just be on Twitch today, but then I got a notification that said my YouTube went live. So I was like, well, okay. I guess that's the plan for right now. Just keep it rolling, because I was like, I'm too tired to reset up, to shut it down, rechange it, do everything. How's the audio levels, guys, coming through? I guess I'm okay. Looks fine on my end. Yeah, you were a day off and on during the day. I got you. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I'm hoping I'm going to be able to play and stream more now. I mean, I'm not totally out of the woods with work, but you know, after the deadline passes, I'm kind of like, I stop getting a bunch of phone calls. Like right now, like I don't even want to have my phone in the same room. Like that's how many calls and everything I get. I'm like, just leave me alone. I need to breathe, but we'll be all right. Hey, Daddy-o. No, God, we're getting that thing going again. You know, when I was, when I was like, when I was like 23, 24, no, 22? No, even younger than that. No. Yeah, no, because I started going to Halo tournaments and playing over there when I was 17 turning 18. And then like 2 years later, hey, Petty's online. What do you call it? After after I did that while I was doing that for a couple years, I started. I took it to the next level, I guess, and I started up pretty much like a traveling tournament, LAN center type of business, traveling LAN center, throwing Halo tournaments and Gears of War tournaments, Call of Duty tournaments, and everything that I was hosting and playing into. So a little bit of both. And there was this thing that started. I needed on Xbox Live, you know, I needed to make like multiple accounts, and for different people playing online. So like one of them, it was like obviously my account, right, Striker, and then my brother was helping me. So when we created his gamer tag, we called it Striker Bro, and so then as players started to get to know me and I started hanging out with people, all of a sudden like random gamer tags started popping up saying like Striker's dad, Striker's mom, Striker's dog, Striker's cat. It was hilarious. At the time I was young and I was just like, what is everybody doing? Stop making fun of me. But looking back on it now, I can't but laugh. It's hilarious. Man, that was like a long time ago, guys. It was more than 10 years ago. Why is everyone subbed already? Breathing is overrated. What you mean, that thing? No. Petty doing his thing. So how you guys been? Have y'all been doing good? I heard Ivana saying that she was getting a little nervous getting so close to the sand dragon. I don't blame you. I would be thinking the exact same thing. Do I hold out, see if the next item's like a relic or a bow? But normally when I get to those kind of situations, I just like bite my teeth and do it as fast as possible so I don't have to think about it. The thinking is what gets to me. I overthink way too much. Get trapped in your thoughts. Yeah, Cliff helped you and fucked up your bellies for 1 week. Aw, man. Damn it, Cliff. You got cliffed. Every single time I'm left with like one node to do in a dungeon, I'm like, I got cliffed. I have to run another one. And it's always right when you want to go to bed, right? Or right when you're like super tired. Hey, Catzo jumping in on YouTube stream. What's going on, my friend? Glad you're able to be in here. Cliff. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. Ghost Cars jumped on in. Hey, I hope Cliff will join the stream again. I think it's too early for Cliff right now, right? Plus, it's like Holy Week, so I wouldn't be surprised if he's taking a little vacay. But yeah, I mean, I also wouldn't be. Well, then again, I could also see a world where he's just like, patch. I need to get it out. So I don't know. I hope he's like not going crazy. Oh yeah, definitely. Hey, let's high five. What's going on? Member of the infamous High Five. I really want to read that book again. I actually read it every year. The what's it called? Ready Player One? Well, actually, that's not true. I used to read it every year, and I haven't read it. I didn't read it last year. Also, Ivana, I heard this story about your, was it the bicycle or the tricycle going into the water and into the beach or whatnot? I don't know why I could picture it in my head. Oh, so sad for your little one. But everything will be all right. I know. I think I lost like a lot of little things when I was like a kid that kind of like traumatized me or whatever. I never want to lose everything again. So like every time I leave somewhere, I'm always like double, triple checking. Do I have everything? Did I forget something? Blah, blah, blah. I remember being like I don't even know what grade it was, like where they let you bring your like little you bring your stuffed animals to school kind of grade, super little, and I took like my favorite toy and I left it there and it disappeared. One of the other kids took it. I know. Freaking Robert. No, I'm just kidding. I'm making that up. But no, I lost it. So I got traumatized. The morning she woke up and said the bike is in the sea. Yeah. But the part that like got me is that like when she said like the way you told the story, like when she said the bike is in the sea, like I would have been like in my head like, oh, she's just, my child's babbling, right? Like they're just saying things that don't make really any sense, and then you turn around, you turn out like, oh no, wait, exactly what they're saying is happening. That's funny. Yeah, I feel you exactly there. Well, thank you guys for jumping on in. Hope we can have a little bit of fun while we get the grind on. Ooh, man, the coffee's really hot. That definitely burned. I'd actually cut out coffee pretty heavily. Actually, I don't know. I've been drinking decaf instead of caffeine, and I've been feeling actually a lot better. But I think this is caffeinated, so this is going to be fun. Also, my voice is like shot from just all the different meetings I've had. So if I lose my voice in the middle of the stream, bear with me. But I was just watching so many VODs and getting so excited to like be able to play again and stream again. That I was just like, I don't care if I don't have a voice. I'll just jump on the stream, and if I have to text people in chat, I'll text people in chat. Whatevs. The YouTube and the Twitch communities are the bomb. So let's see. I think I need to do this Arcane Pits 4 times. Do Arcane Pits 4 times, and then I can... Actually, that should complete the entire thing. Great, so this is just what I'm going to do. Perfect. And then once I turn this bounty in, I'll check to go look at what the rest of the bounties say. Because, yeah, like I'm barely past 451. It's crazy to think back that, like, I remember... it was Easter of 2021 when all the craziness was going down, and I remember thinking, I think that's when he introduced the bounty system, or maybe it was a little bit after, a little bit before, something like that. And I remember thinking, like, doing the math in my head. I was like, okay, how much am I gonna have to play in order to get this? And I remember talking with my girlfriend at the time, saying that, okay, look, if I can grind hard until October, I should have it, right? If I can grind hard until October, I should have it. And then in the middle of all of that, I proposed, which changed the entire schedule. So like now I'm coming back 1 year later and being like, well, I still haven't got it yet, but I'm pretty close. But you guys actually might beat me to it. Maybe that's some of the motivation I'm feeling. Because like I heard there was like 5 to 10 players like on the edge of claiming it. Do I like tiramisu? Yeah, I do in general. It's not like my go-to. It's not my fave. I had creme brulee for the first time like a couple months ago. I would say in terms of pastries or in terms of dessert, I tend to lean cheesecake, and then some different types of like Mexican pan dulce. Some empanada. No, well, I used to like them the most, but not anymore. Anything jelly filled. Strawberry jelly. Yeah, for sure. Like some really good, oh shoot. Um, yeah, what kind of desserts do I like? I don't know. I'm a fatty. I eat everything. I'm a foodie. Let me turn this a little bit here so I can fix my desk. There we go. Hey, Pizza Lad. The question came out of left field. He's hungry. He's hungry. I always talk about food on stream. It's just normally it's at the very end of the stream rather than the very beginning. This morning, I ate good this morning. I feel good. Like I normally like on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings, like I normally like to go out to breakfast and have like either like there's some really like some local Mexican restaurants here that are to die for. Oh my God. But then every once in a while I want to go to a really nice brunch. Actually, my wife isn't probably watching the stream right now, so I got to start preparing because her birthday's coming up and I think it's going to be on the weekend, so I need to get stuff in order, if you know what I mean. Happy wife, happy life. But who knows? I'll figure something out. I always do. I always do. All right, here we go. Man, this coffee, yeah. You could definitely been drinking decaf. Yeah, we'll make it something nice. Don't worry, pizza. Will you take the Sand Dragon or wait for some new items to change? I'm taking the Sand Dragon. I'm not gonna wait. It probably won't get any until the update, because the update's gonna change everything, I would bet. I mean, you have to remember, like, one of the old updates in 2021, like, Cliff was like, we're releasing 2 new maps and maybe, like, 2 enemies. And then when it actually came out, it was, like, 7 new maps and 25 new enemies. Like, it was like, what? And he had, like, said that, like, on a stream, or I think he streamed one time, or I don't remember where he was. He joined someone or said something. And it was, like, oh, I don't know, 2 months later, and it was, like, all these new maps. It was nuts. How good is the weakness effect? I don't know, to tell you the truth. I haven't seen it in action. Is it the only item that has weakness? Is there another one I can test out? Is there also details provided on weakness? I don't even think. If I were to go into Encyclopedia and type in weakness, it won't pop up, right? It's just gonna, yeah, it's not gonna go through the details. It's not going to go through the item descriptions on there, but let's pull it up really fast and see. %, chance to weaken. I guess it's just a reduced defense. I'm guessing for melee damage, obviously, since it's a sword. So 15%. Wait, but what does it say? It says 15% chance to weaken. I'm guessing that is on strike. I wonder if that only procs based on damage. I'm pretty much taking it because I don't have one. And while a bow, I mean, I guess if I had to rank it, I would probably go relic, bow, melee in that order. More specifically, I would go, well, I guess in terms of relic specifics, you can't really go there because it could be anything. Yeah, I tend to prefer axes over swords. I prefer the feel of one-handed, but the damage of two-handed, which means I always choose two-handed. Even though I like the way the game feels with one-handed better. What else? I would always take instant effect relics versus passive relics. which could be a mistake because if we get dungeons that either never end or super, super long dungeons, you're going to want those passive ones. One and a half dungeon, 1.5 handed weapons. I would ask when one-footed weapons. Touche. Just kidding. When can I equip some kind of like boot where a dagger pops out of the toe and then boom. You know what I'm thinking of. You know where I'm at. Yeah, that's it. That's it. Run through the fire, why don't you? I guess we're going down another path here, but oh well. A throwing weapon like a mini axe? There was this D&D campaign that I played, like it was a homebrew, right? So, oh man, it must have been 5+ years ago, with a group of friends that I used to hang out with a lot. So we made our own kind of custom D&D module, or the Dungeon Master did, and we all got to choose, or we all got to describe like our ideal weapon, like our perfect, like our manifestation of the weapon that attached to our soul or whatever. And we gave him basics, like what kind of attributes do you like, what kind of things do you seem really cool, and blah blah. And I had talked about this weapon, like the attributes that I told him. I was like, okay, speed, give me something with speed, something that affects time, and something that affects something that can teleport. Now when I told him those things, I was thinking like that it would let me teleport. But the item that he created, which was like my awesome favorite item that I loved, it was like this. I forget the type of. It's that like really dark black gemstone. What's it called? Obsidian. It was like an obsidian dagger that, like, in the reflection of the dagger, you could see like yourself, but like in an alternate like dimension or universe. So the things it would like reflect back would be sometimes like hints about what's to come, or also things that like things to tell you about like a doomed future or whatever. But like its powers, it would let me go back, it would let me split myself into 2 copies, and then at the end of the turn choose which copy, depending on where I moved, which copy to remain as the main timeline, and the other copy would disappear. And then it also had the ability to where if I threw it, it could teleport back to my belt. So when you said teleport, the throwing weapons, that's the first thing that came to my mind. I actually tried to log into that was on Roll20, the website, for any of you D&D nerds. I tried to log back in, and I don't know what happened because, I mean, I guess it's just been so long that they don't always save everything. I was trying to find that old character sheet, but it's nowhere to be found. Actually, you know what? I might have it saved in a folder somewhere. I'd have to see. I forgot what other I saw. I don't know if it's an anime or what other TV show I saw where like the dagger would reappear in their belt as well. But yeah, it was pretty cool. Will Cliff nerf Mist of Deception for co-op mode? I mean, I guess when you say Mist of Deception, I always think of the opposite. I think that item might need a little buff. Actually, to tell you the truth, I don't know how this is all going to play out. Look, let me give you my opinion on where I stand. I would be completely fine. I would actually be excited to find out that Cliff decided to melt every single NFT and start from scratch for launch, or like create whole brand new NFTs or something, like change every single item's ability. I'd be like, whatever, man, do what you got to do. Like, let's see what happens. You know, I mean, obviously a lot of people would be pissed. A lot of people might be happy with the new results of what they get. Like, I'm totally cool regardless. So I guess when I think about item nerfs and buffs, I like the idea that like as this game gets built out over years, like there's going to be so many items, so many weapons, like there's going to be so many unique builds, it's going to be crazy. I think it'll be crazy cool. I don't think it'll be balanced if we go that route. On the other hand, if he chooses to like re-nerf and retool and rechange all these items to try to balance, you know, there'll probably be some pushback, I guess, from people, but on my end, I would be cool with it. So I guess we'll see. I know that's kind of crazy to say. Like people have talked to me about it before when I brought it up and been like, but wait, what about the value of all your items? And I'm like, the value of all the items just depends on the game, on the fun of the game. You know what I mean? If the game's not fun and people don't want to play, then the value doesn't mean nothing. So, hey, you know, I kind of also, I know a lot of people think that Cliff, I mean, and maybe he does, I don't know. But I know a lot of people tend to think that Cliff has this like grand old vision of where we're going. And I kind of think he's just like got an idea of things that he think would be cool to implement. And then he listens to us. And then based on what we say, he changes stuff, you know? And I think he's cool and comfortable going down that route. And I think that's actually, I think that's ballsy. I think that's unique. I think that's what can make blockchain games, community-based game building fun. I mean, also, like, we don't really know what's good for games, right? Like, well, I'm not a game developer. So I guess going back to your original question, Mr. Deception, every time I've looked at it, I've always thought, like, that item needs to be a little bit stronger. But I have no clue what I'm talking about in terms of game design, you know? I guess if we were to break it down into, like, trying to think of it, like, at a fundamental level, I guess I guess it would make more sense to me for items to be like power items be based on rarity. Like the more rare it is, the more powerful it is, right? But the more items get rolled out and the more updates come, like how will you ever be able to keep track of that? How will you ever know if, like, you know what, Mr. Deception is acting like a rare weapon, a rare relic rather than a legendary relic? And if that's the case, then what rare weapon, what rare relic are you going to compare it to? You know, and so like, I guess that's the way I always thought, but I also kind of understand, like, I don't really actually see a way you could make that work. So yeah, it's going to be weird. Mr. Deception, let's see. It's lasting 5 seconds. Is that what it is? Five uses. Causes nearby enemies to attack each other for 20 seconds. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad. Maybe what I would do, I would need to test it again. How big is the AoE on the smoke that is cast? Let me check if I missed any of you guys. Thank you again for hanging out. Hope y'all are having a good time, both the YouTube and the Twitch fam. Do me a favor, guys. If you're on one platform or the other, maybe jump on in real quick and hit the follow or sub button on the other platform. Help a brother out. I want to get some things going. I have some ideas about stuff that I would want to do and implement over the rest of 2022, but I just got to get through work first, which hopefully should be done by Monday, but then like where I can fully relax maybe a week or two after that. So hashtag lurkers. Where are my lurkers at? We respect the lurkers here. We get it. You guys are grinding bounties. Of course you're lurking. I've been lurking. I haven't even been lurking live. I've been lurking in VOD. I don't remember on Ivana's last stream. I don't remember who you were talking to, Ivana. You were talking to somebody. Oh, you were talking about... Maybe I shouldn't bring it up. That you had made jokes about somebody or something that got pushed too far, a little bit too far, or whatever. somebody came in. Oh, it was the concept about like, wait, you want PvP? And I just started laughing, and I started like searching all of my browsers for a tab because I wanted to find chat, and I was like, "Where's the chat? I need to type." And unfortunately, I was like, "There's no, it's obviously not live." That was made me laugh really hard. It was good. It was good. Okay, let's see. What if co-op arena? Hey. Thanks for jumping over there, brother, on YouTube. Thank you, my friend. Let's see really quick. Let me go back because we got some chats coming a little faster than I'm looking at it. Wow, you guys are really going faster than I'm. How much did I miss? Okay, yeah, here we go. Okay. Mist is already barely worth a slot in the current duration. Yeah, probably. Probably. I've never used it. Never seen anyone use it. Yeah. It's a little gimmicky. No, low-key gimped is the effect. Yeah, I mean, I think it could have its purposes in the future, but like right now, it's probably not the most satisfying to use. In co-op, what if we had a co-op similar to the graveyard? Yeah, then Mist of Deception. I mean, it definitely would be an escape item. It would be like the, oh shit, we're getting swarmed, drop it, you know? If the effect goes beyond 20 seconds, I think 20 seconds is good. Maybe it just needs a bigger radius. Maybe it goes up to 25 seconds. I couldn't see it possibly going more than that, right? Because even if you get swarmed by a huge group, and forget about dying, let's assume you wouldn't die, it takes you less than 20 seconds to kill the group, right? If you had infinite health and you didn't have to worry about dying, if you just swang away, I don't think it would take you 20 seconds. You know, and then on top of that, they're damaging each other. So that part seems strong to me, but what do I know? Have you ever, Ivana coming in, have you ever thought about that we might have two types of relics, one for multi and one for, ooh. No, I've never thought about that. That's the first time I thought about it. I thought about the idea of like, I had thought about the idea of like Gen 1 and versus Gen 2, like stuff that's minted on Engine versus stuff that's minted on either JumpNet or Efinity. I thought about that a lot. I thought about like items that would not be allowed in PvP. So like items being restricted and what that could mean for their values and stuff. But I never thought about items that can be used specifically based on multiplayer or not. Like, I guess what that's assuming, again, sorry for the voice, guys and gals. I guess what that is assuming is that there are relics, there are abilities within the game that are too powerful to be used in anything other than you know, PvE, which, yeah, I mean, yeah, could definitely be. Like, I wouldn't want to face anybody in a 1v1 that has, I don't know, like an Archer's Ring, I guess. Like, I guess, like, if they have Mist of Deception in a 1v1, do I, like, do I just, like, freeze because I don't have anybody else to shoot? Or I start shooting if there's mobs around us. That would be kind of cool. Like I always thought about like a battle scenario or a PvP scenario where it was like, I don't know why Walking Dead pops into my mind, where it's like two people are in this room fighting it out while also waves of monsters are just randomly being spawned and attacking just random to different players. So it's just like avoid the zombies while also surviving against the other opponent. I don't know. I also thought about like the idea of like, I never really wanted, I don't really want PvP. I guess I still don't want PvP, but if it comes, it comes. I'm cool with it. But the reason why I don't want PvP is, I don't know, I don't like what it would do. I mean, look, I'm naturally a competitive person and it would definitely get my competitive juices going. But I don't know if that's exactly what would be best for the community. Maybe I'm wrong, but regardless, I don't know if it would feel good, to tell you the truth. Like, I think it feels good fighting these mobs because, you know, they're not doing any complicated movement. They're not dodging. They're not anticipating damage. They're not, you know, they're just doing what they do. You know, they're more like on a timer. Like if you're able to kill X enemy within a certain amount of time, you don't have to worry about damage being taken, which feels fine, feels good. But when like when you have a human being on the other side, I don't know if it's gonna feel good because I could see a lot of scenarios where like I'm about to shoot my bow, but they can see the animation, so they're like sidestep, and it's just like now we're just sidestepping each other. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Those are just guesses, I guess. So let's see. Going back to the chat real quick. So yes. So with that item, they de-aggro once you get they get the mob killed. It'll re-aggro you. Agreed. You mean if you leave them alone, they don't fight but run, but they can go back. Oh, so some of you haven't seen it. I mean, I can grab the mist and I can show it to you really quick. We can do a little test run. This is probably the best utility non-offensive item for its rarity and let me think about that again. Best utility non-offensive item because it provides an escape. So off the cuff, I would probably not agree with that off the cuff, but I would need to go look. So you could be right. You know, just off the top of my head, let's see. Not many crowd-controlled relics are out there in Lost Relics. Okay, cool, good point. CJ Warlocks, Ghost Car. What if co-op arena will have a lot of mobs like a graveyard? Exactly. I also kind of like the idea of like, hey, two players get dropped in the same dungeon on two different ends. The goal being that like you need to meet up in the middle and then fight your way to the end. So it's like you like half of the dungeon is being run by yourself, and then half the dungeon is being run with a teammate. And then based on how much health or energy you have remaining when you meet each other, is the part where you start to strategize. It's like, look, I only got one charge left in my pumpkin, or I only have, you know, one egg demon left. You know, like, okay, how are we gonna do this? Because from here it gets harder. You know, I always thought that would be kind of cool. It'll probably get to the point where raw damage matters more than disruption. I kind of always assumed it would be the opposite, that you would need, that your damage wouldn't be enough because of the enemies, but who knows? You occasionally use the amulet. I actually haven't used the amulet in a long time. If we're talking about the same one. The one that reduces damage. But alone, some other relics are way better. Vial of the Abyss can also be used for co-op. I actually still don't own a vial, if you can believe that. I haven't purchased one. How much are they going for on the market? Hey, Slayton's jumped in. What's going on, Slayton? Oh, and you subbed. I didn't even get the notification. I guess my notifications are broke. I need to get that fixed. Thank you, my friend, for the continued sub. You are the man, and we all know it. Ivana says she totally agrees. I would rather have more complex AI on mobs rather than PvP. Yeah, I think that's worth. Amulet of Chaos is worse than the Mist of Deception. I'm trying to remember the Chaos Amulet really quick. What? Oh, that's how you spell it. Well, I guess it's the difference between... See, this is the way my brain thinks, is I'm like, well, the difference between the two is one is rare and one is legendary. Well, also one is virtual, right? And one is blockchain. But we'll try out the Mist of Deception real quick. Maybe I'll look for a bounty that I can do, because I only need one more run of this. Maybe I can look for a bounty that I need to do on that would allow me to take legendaries in, and that's efficient. I also like the idea of dungeons where you can take in more relics than your current slot, but randomly, like let's say you bring in a loadout of 10 relics, but then randomly of the 10 relics, when you start the dungeon, the game chooses your 5 for you. Like you take in multiple and then you get randomly chosen the ones you're allowed to use. Someone brought that up a long time ago. I don't think a lot of players would like it, but I just like the idea of like, I like the idea of puzzle solving, as in like, this is what I have and this is how I need to get to the end, and how am I going to do that, you know? You could probably do that in way better ways than what I just described, but you know. When Easter event? Yeah, well, Easter's tomorrow, right? So, nah, I don't think there's going to be any more holiday events for 2022. And it kind of makes, for me, it makes sense. Like I had thought, if he was going to change the events, it would be weird to have a 2022 Easter, but then not have a 2022 Christmas or Halloween, right? So, plus this patch seems pretty big. I don't know what it's gonna be. I really have no clue how to even think about it. Oh, that was a little glitch. Yeah, I have no clue what's about to happen. Just know that when it comes out, there's gonna, just because of the nature of gamers online, there's gonna be a lot of backlash. Like there's no way for there not to be. So keep emotions calm and just know that if there's bugs get fixed. If there's gameplay decisions, game design choices that you don't like, you know, feel free to voice them in a respectful way, right? But he's always listened to our feedback and always given us good. He's always respected our thoughts. Ghost Car, what do you think about the last message? Let me find it. Hold on. Vial of Abyss can be very good for co-op. Also drain. Sorry, I'm playing with poker chips. It's just a nervous habit. I kind of realized that my mic picks it up. I should probably stop. Let me do one more run and we'll try that mist. The Vial of Abyss. I tend to favor energy more than health. So, Vendan jumping in on YouTube. Thank you, my friend. You the man. Glad to see you here. Yeah, I tend to value energy more than health, but that's probably just because I'm able to survive some of these dungeons. I have, you know, just based on the items I have, right? So it's not a fair comparison. Actually, what I think would be really, really cool is for new players. I really want to watch some new players start from scratch. Corin, who started streaming recently, Lost Relics. It's been fascinating to watch her play, just because like stuff has changed so much since I started, and obviously like the way I think and the things I do. So it's fascinating to see like how a new player comes on board and problem solves. But yeah, from my perspective, like I tend to value energy, and I would assume the thing that would get you killed in co-op more faster would be the moments when you're like, oh shit, we just triggered a trap, or we just got surrounded when we weren't intending, and if you don't have the energy to get out of it, then you're done. Because I kind of look at it like as in, if you think you're gonna die, you're gonna throw everything at it, including all of your energy. So the less energy you have, the faster you die. But, you know, different play styles and different relic loadouts will definitely mean different things. Do you have to write it again? That wasn't it? What do we say? What if co-op arena will have a lot of mobs like graveyard? Yeah, that's what we were talking about. Did I miss it? Did you write it somewhere else? Leroy Jenkins was the first time. That was the first time he chatted. If you rely on melee more and you're out of energy, you're dead. Good point. Very good point. I mean, I've always thought that range has been the most powerful thing in the game. I really haven't seen that change. You know, well, there was a point in time where axes were super buffed. But yeah, I've always favored range. Whoa, we're not going in the lava. I remember when that used to be an insta-kill. Stupid me. I remember it was like one of the patches where Cliff still had that in place, and I was just like, yeah, it's not gonna kill me, right? And I just like was like, I'll try it. Boom, insta-death. Oh shit. And then he changed it, but I was so afraid about going into insta-death and losing virtuals or whatnot that like I like skipped all the chests. If there was lava around it, I skipped it. I just didn't care. I mean, I just didn't want to even risk it. And then people were telling me like, no, you could walk across, and I'm like, haha, you're trolling me. And then months later, I was like, wait, when you told me that a few months ago, you were for real? I was like, okay, well now I feel like an idiot. Yeah, axes were OP when he split weapons from one-handed to two-handed. Yeah, that's true. I'm just trying to remember when that was. Was that like around Halloween? Let's when update. If I had to guess, I guess the last time I guessed on stream, and I think I streamed like 2 weeks ago, I had said 2 weeks ago I said 6 weeks. So I guess technically now it would be a month left. A month feels fine. I would probably still want to assume 6 weeks or less. But a month feels fine. Summer, in the summer, I got you. You know, the thing I'm surprised about is how I'm actually surprised that players didn't give very much backlash or feedback to when he changed. What did he call it? He called it the blockchain item swap. I think it was the blockchain item swap, where he like, if you had X amount of items if you had the item, it's just automatically transferred into something else. Like by doing that, he set like a really important precedent, meaning that he could do that again. And so I was thinking like people were gonna just go, some people were gonna go nuts, but honestly, I didn't really hear much. Again, from my standpoint, I was okay with it. But if he could do that then, that means he can do it now. And if he could do it now, then that kind of gets me excited because, I mean, I don't know what's going to happen, and I don't know what the future has and what you guys think the better future is. But like, I really like this idea of like being a full blockchain game, having every single item be blockchain. The way he described about like not having some items be able to leave the game, and that's how you solve it. I think that would be fascinating if he pulls it off. Mostly because, I mean, I don't know. It could break everything. I have no clue. But you know, when you think about blockchain games and the things that it, like the advantages that blockchain games have it over traditional games, like that's probably the number one. You know, and so leaning into that as a game gives you a niche that nobody else can compete, or not compete with, but it gives you a niche that nobody else has. It makes you unique. And through that uniqueness, we're going to be able to discover all sorts of things that like we've only touched at the beginning with this GameFi, you know, Web3 era of video games. Ghost Car, I can't see your message, brother. Type it again. Do I still analyze the Emporium? So we can go do that. I don't mind. I'll be quite honest. I think a majority of you in the stream might have way more information on the current trends than I do, but I'll give you my opinions. We can definitely do that. I would say, I mean, I know I've been right on a lot of things in the Emporium. I've definitely been wrong on some stuff. Like the time when I was like buying up all the bombs because I was like, bombs don't have a use and they're going so, I mean, they have a use, but bombs aren't being used and they're going for cheap. And I bought them all up and then, you know, no update came that involved bombs. And I was like, well, that sucks. So I slowly sold some of them off. But yeah, we can definitely go look at the Emporium. Let's see. Ivana says he did say he started off with blockchain only, then introduced virtuals to compensate for gas fees. So I would expect him to try and go back to at some point. Yeah, I mean, just imagine the amount of information. Like, not only for players, like I think what would be crazy is if this were to happen, like you could see like numbers and markets, they just reflect, you know, the summation of humans the decision making process. And I don't remember who was chatting in game earlier about it when we were talking about, I think it was Kingslayer. That we were talking about, someone was like, how do you make gold or something? And I was just like, what's crazy is that in this economy, economics doesn't just mean the spending of money or the spending of crypto or the spending of gold. Economics is just how people assess value and how they transact that value. It doesn't need to be monetary based. So in this case, and if you go look at all the production skills, like my thoughts would be here that, you know, $200, $240. So like the cost of the inputs are less than the output, which in a traditional market, in the traditional world is not the case. So like this is 60 gold, 30 gold, 97 gold. So already more than the item you're producing. And if you follow that trend, I bet you it applies to 90% of them, right? So if we go down to, you know, the 500, 697, 695, 301, 362. Well, that's not a good choice. I mean, I guess, yeah, that should technically count. 3,700, that's around 2,000. So 400, 3,700. So like what do the numbers tell you that people are thinking? And what they're telling you, I think, is that the value of the creation of through the value of production skills isn't actually the item that's being produced. It's the XP. It's the only other variable that you're being granted in the system. So like gold goes in and in return you get item plus XP. So the item plus the XP should equal the value of the gold that goes in. So if the value of the production skill is less than the value of the inputs, people are saying that the reason why they're doing it is for XP. That is the item that is more valuable that's causing the final piece of the puzzle to be worth less. And it makes sense when we think about gamers and gamers' mindsets and grinding, because like the way we're thinking, I would bet the way that most gamers are thinking is that I need to grind up this leaderboard as fast as possible, or I need to unlock the next thing that I can sell as fast as possible. And that is more important than whether or not I make a profit on the items that I'm making, as long as I can make something to toss it back in to getting XP. So that's just, you know, that's just unique to I think that's, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I think that is just a gamer mindset that all of us have learned, I guess, or inherited over the years of video games. I don't know exactly how to explain it. I mean, I've been reading a bunch of video game economic books, going through all this stuff, and like, it's fascinating in my mind. It's fascinating. But my bad, I missed up. Let's see, how did you get the robot outfit? Oh, so this one was actually how I got started with Lost Relics. This was the Swissborg, pretty much challenge trophy. Back in 2020, there was an event in Engine that was called the Multiverse. It was a multiverse event sponsored by Swissborg, which is like a financial DeFi. Well, they're not DeFi, they're CeFi, but like a financial crypto company, like a Uniswap or a Aave or a, Celsius, things like that. They hosted this event, which it was over the course of a month. I remember COVID had just hit, and I wasn't able to play softball or kickball anymore. So I needed something to get the competitive juices going. And I found this video game tournament that was like, every week there was like every week there was one piece of armor that you had to collect. So it was the head, the torso, and the boots. So every week there was like 3 or 4 different engine games that you could play. And if you grinded them or you did their quest or whatever, they gave you that NFT. Okay. And at the end of the first week, obviously the players who had gotten the legs now have the chance to go get the chest plate the next week. So you advance to week 2 and you play a whole new group of games to try to get that chest piece. And then week 3 was the helm that you would try to get. Right. So at the end of it, if you were one of I think there was like 1,000 players that completed it and got all 3 pieces. If you held all 3 pieces in your wallet, then you would unlock this special. You'd be entered into the finale, and you'd unlock the ability to come into Lost Relics, which was the finale game. And if you had those equipped at a certain time, a portal would open up for a special dungeon. And every player had like 24 hours or 48. I think it was 24 hours, maybe less. Why did I do that? I'm going to go back to the stash. Every player had like 24 hours to complete the dungeon run. And I finished, the first person to complete it was Nine Streams. I forgot what his name is. He used to stream a lot for Engine. He completed it first. I died on my first attempt. So when I completed it, I think I finished 53rd or 47th, somewhere like that. Cliff, you can find it on YouTube. Cliff does like the finale list of all the winners, and then they gave away the prizes. Some people made actually like a couple thousand, like $1,000. Like I think 5 to 10 people made like special keys that unlocked like $1,000 worth of value. Another 50 people earned like $50 of Engine at the time, which is probably now like $200 or $300 Engine, or $200 or $300. What am I doing? Oh yeah, requirements. So there's skins and ore, and what else? Raw, 2 of these. And it's not going to show me here. Did I have to turn them in? Do I still have those NFTs in my Engine wallet? Let me check. Probably not. But yeah, so this one's pretty much the trophy. The skin was awarded as the trophy for being in the top, 100, top 50. Let me see. Assets. Where are you guys? This was probably one of my very first NFTs, to tell you the truth. Well, that's not true. Yeah, Swissborg. Yeah, I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera. Hold on. Let me pull this up. Let me see. Can I make this? I could make it full screen, but let's just see. Yeah, so, no, you can't really see it too well. Yeah, and I still have the pieces of the 3 pieces you had to collect, and then the trophy. And my trophy, the Cyborg Champion, my trophy number is 58, NFT 58. That's how I found Lost Relics, was playing that tournament. And when I played all the other games, and I was obviously keeping an eye on Axie. Oh, well, I just deposited all that. Let's see. When I was keeping an eye on Axie and watching a bunch of the other games, I was like, this game is by far the most gameplay advanced and the most fun to play. And that's how I got started in Lost Relics. That is the Striker origin story for you guys. Let me turn this in. You guys wanted to see Mr. Deception. I'm going to come back to you guys on chat. Don't worry. Let me just get set up for the next run, and then we'll come back to chat. Mr. Deception, I can use in Oak Up Caverns. Wastelands. Oh, Wastelands is better for Necro Knights. What do I need here? I could go do some more of this, but let's change it up. Necro Knights. There's 100 Necro Knights in Wasteland, and 47 in Oak Up Caverns. But why? I think, yeah. And 111. I just need one run. So let's go to Wastelands really quick. And let me check on chat really fast. Let's see. The message about the pet leveling system. Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. I guess I kind of thought, hey, Tim, jumping in on YouTube. My bad, brother. I just missed you over there. Hope you were probably waiting. You probably posted that a while ago. My bad. What were you saying about the pet system? Yeah, that's going to be really interesting. I don't know what's. I had thought it was going to be this whole like level your pet up, and now it has more. Whatever. More stats or more. Apparently, I can't think and get my loadout at the same time. It's going to be so good to have automatic loadouts or saved loadouts. 1 second, guys. Give my voice a chance to take a break too, actually. And where's the peekaboo? There we go. And I don't really need to change that. Where are we at? I think that's everything I need. Yeah. Oh, wait. They are there, right? Necro. No, wait. Which ones are they? This one's? Yeah, Necro Knights. That's the one it was, right? Necro Knights? I didn't accept it. Hey, we got a raid. Oh, wow. Cool. Trey coming on in. Koi with the Party of 10 raid. Watch out. Actually, did I miss that a long time ago, guys? I'm sorry. I don't have notifications on because this is the first time I'm streaming in a while, and I need to set everything up. So let's see. The pet leveling system can make the game very popular because it will bring back. I think it's really cool because it will give added utility to pets. I mean, I think that Necro Knights. Yeah, Necro Knights. Oh, you wanted me to try Mr. Deception. We'll give that a shot. Can I enter a dungeon? I guess we'll try it. Where's Mist? I don't know if I can enter a dungeon with a relic in my inventory. I don't think it'll let me, and if it doesn't, I'll just put the. Something back. Okay. Yeah, I think it'll be really cool because now there's a reason. Now there's a reason other than cosmetic, to take pets. I think it would be cool. I think I had a dream that the Axie pets were the pets that started coming into Lost Relics. I don't know why. I'm weird. That's the whole Axie thing's a crazy situation. I don't know if you guys are following what happened with the Ronin Bridge and the hack by the North Korean based hackers. Let's see if it lets me go in. I don't think it will. It will, but I can't equip it. That's the problem, right? Let me see. I know that there's something with this. Why haven't I would have done this before if I. Yeah, it can't equip it. So that's okay. Let's abandon. And now go in. Thank you for the raid. Trey Koi, you are the man. Premium on XP, exactly. All those level 40 forgers are on some hopium. How many level 40 forgers? I mean, actually, so it's not. I'm gonna go to leaderboard really quick. It's not. I didn't mean to say that there is no purpose for leveling up forging. I think it's just a matter of like, once you get there, you can look at it in terms of like, theoretically, because it's behind a paid membership, and because it requires the higher forging skill. Let's see. Oh yeah, there are 5 level 40 or above forgers. Freaking Sambam. Sambam has been there since I've been playing. Me and him had some good old back and forth. Let's see. Each time people are using the spreadsheet, I'm getting free shadow stones. Yeah. Ivana clip. Wait, what? My God, this stash makes me cry. So beautiful. Yes, you can, but you won't be able to equip it. See, I should have just read Ivana's. I told you guys, y'all know what's going on. No sweat, homie. Love watching because of all the info, past, present, and future. I try, man. I try. I'm gonna help. Help out wherever I can. It will be OP if you can equip it in the dungeon. It would be OP. That's why I was just like, I know there's something here. Axie hack was so funny and sad. Yeah, it was pretty sad, actually, pretty sad. I was actually about to get into Axie, and my evaluation case was about the idea of like falling popularity was going to mean, oh yeah, let me try the Mr. Deception. I mean, better entry point, and because they had so much funding behind them, that was their lock-in room. I guess it's the same thing. All right, let's see what we got here. Ready? Oh, what a whiff! What the hell? Well, I guess let's see. Yeah, there we go. I mean, that's pretty strong for 20 minutes. I mean, for 20 seconds. Why is this guy still chasing me though? 5 uses? Actually, it's not bad. I wonder, let me see, if I toss it over here and they walk through it, that counts, right? Yeah, actually, that's pretty good. I love the effect though. Will they follow me still? Wait. Why are they attacking me? Oh, it's broken, I guess? It's a bug. It's okay, there's a bug, it happens. Maybe a clip, if someone, I need trees too. Damn. Well, I guess we'll just do a quick run and. Keep following me, boys. Keep following me. There we go. I wonder how many. Oh, come on. Okay. No, this is not good. I should go that way. There we go. All right, here we go. Where's the lock-in room? No lock-in room? Keep it coming. We got a huge mob here. This is probably a lock-in room. There it is. Okay. Oh, shit. Okay, well, am I taking damage? I am taking damage. Okay, I need to survive this. Oh, I'm taking way too much damage. So, yeah, I guess it's bugged right now, right? Am I reading something wrong? Okay, hold on. Let me reread it. Hold on real quick, chat. Hold up. Okay, yeah. Let's see. What was it? Cause nearby enemies to attack each other for 20 seconds or to run to a nearby area. But so they didn't run. But if they don't attack and they run to a nearby area, let's look at that again, actually. I'll probably TP out of this. Just let me get another big mob going. Keep coming, guys. Keep coming. Okay, there we go. Trying to slow these guys down so the other ones catch up. Let's try it one more time. What do y'all say? So if they run to, if the game thinks they're running, damn. Okay. See, this guy came and attacked me. I mean, I guess. Yeah. It needs to be changed, right? What I was thinking right now was that if they run, if they run, then once their running is over, are they reset like to back to attack mode? Let's try it over here. What's really cool is that there's no cooldown. I do like that, but yeah, we got to fix this here. Okay, like that. See, that's a really good escape. That's a really good escape. But yeah, see, they're already attacking me. Well, no, see, these guys are still fighting. These guys right here are still fighting. Why are these guys not fighting each other and those ones are? Okay, that's weird. Let me clear these guys. Maybe it has something to do with the ones that are spawned versus not spawned? Or maybe I'm just... I'll check you guys right now. Let me see. I think I'm going to be safe here. Kill him, kill him. Okay, now what? Let's see. Is it a bug? Yeah. Is it a bug? Rest in peace. Nah, I ain't gonna die. Dr. Loot told no because of the Archer. Oh, the Archer's ring. Okay, well, I have no more Archer ring. Hey, baby, what's going on? My wife just showed up. What's up, sweetie? She's running. You don't need to run by. Just say hi. Say hi to the chat. You can't not say hi. No, I mean, I look horrible. You look great. Okay, so let's see real quick. I hope any damage to monsters cancels it. Got it. Where's Dr. Loot? Is he in the chat? I don't see him. Or maybe he said it earlier. I get it. But that doesn't cancel. It's not in the description. I'm out of charges. I want to try it again without the Archer. The mist of deception is actually deception only. Now I see how people feel on my stream. Striker talk to us. I'll check you guys right now. Hi, wifey. Striker's boss just came in. Everyone, shh. I gotta, window shift, go back to work. She puts me to work, guys. He's like, get back to doing tax returns. What are you doing? That's exactly it. Okay, let's get out of here. I guess I should just TP out. But I don't... the Archer's ring is what is resetting them. So... But I could have swore... I don't know when I ran out of Archer's ring on that last try. Yeah, let's just TP out. Let's not waste time. Should I go back in and try it again without the Archer's ring? What do you guys think? Or you guys got enough info from that? Bring Feeble? You want the Feeble Bloodstone? You know how that one works, don't you? Oh, you mean the Feeble instead of the... but it should do the exact same thing, shouldn't it? Oh, you're kidding. Yeah. Oh, okay, gotcha. It's Ivana, you got to work on the sarcasm there, okay? No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Ghost card. Do it in caverns. It's better with high density mobs. I mean, I like the fact that if you're surrounded, you don't have to worry about throwing it because it's just going to trigger. I mean, I guess it could technically miss if you're not surrounded on all corners or on all. You don't speak sarcasm. Can I unequip a relic when I'm in there? Let's see. No, you can't. All the transcendence I'm losing from abandoning guys, it's giving me anxiety. I mean, I think we pretty much got the point there, right? I don't think there's much we gotta do there. So let's jump on in and let's complete these bounties. But yeah, I mean, so pluses and minuses on the Mist of Deception. Plus that technically any amount of enemies can get triggered by it. I guess negative that it resets when other types of damage are hit, so you can't do any damage. Well, I guess it's not really a negative. That's just a game. Damn it, I forgot the freaking... I need the trees. Another $1,000 gold down the drain. Did you find the blue gram, says Green Corp on YouTube? Or what's going on? No. I was just carrying it in my inventory because I was going to switch at the stash so I could go back in. But then again, I forgot my tools. So great. So I had to, doesn't matter if I carried it like that or not because I could have just redeposited. Okay. What do I like more, the pets change or the co-op? Definitely the co-op. Definitely the co-op. But the pet change could have a lot of cool features behind it. The co-op, I think, is just easier for me to understand. The price of the reckoning is barely close to the price. I don't know what's the price of the reckoning. I forgot how to spell reckoning. Go here and show me Transcendence. Reckoning. 1,500? Is it the lowest of them all? 170k, 300k. That probably hasn't sold yet. That hasn't sold yet. Wait, that has sold? 250k. Red Minutes not yet. 160. 155, 400, the bad boy. My Void Ripper hasn't. So I ended up trading away a Spitfire for a Godslayer and an Archer Ring and like 2 more legendaries. Actually, I think it was 3 legendaries. I think it was a hell of a deal. But also, I mean, it seems like the Spitfire is the weapon of, if the #1 weapon anyone in the game would want to have right now. I have the right tools, right? I have the right tools. We're good to go. Okay. So premium for rarity, I guess. Reckoning price is old right now. I bet it would not sell for this low with the current engine dollar value. Yeah, it's been fascinating to see how all that's been played out. You know, I don't know if I'm the one who started this trend. When people were asking me about the market, I had made the comment that this is the way I had perceived it. I had perceived that that some of the changes in item values had happened because of the increase in engine. The idea behind my thought process was that, like, hey, look, when we were all, you know, in the beginning of the year, engine was like 40 something cents. Now it was $1.50. It's tripled in value. So technically the Shadowstone price of an item can go down by triple and you still get the same dollar value, which was that's the way I was thinking. And I think I said that out loud on the stream. And then I heard a lot of people start commenting that that was the reason for the drop. And I actually don't think that's the reason. I think Ivana was more correct on her stream where she was saying that her guess is that a majority of the players that wanted to get out are now out. I would say that is probably more of a reasoning. I'm sure it both played an impact. But if I had to say now, I would say that it was the one that was more impactful was players selling that were exiting. But this is obviously speculation because everything's muddled now. Like I was able to track, because like back in the day when I started, I was like tracking players' wallets and being like, hey, who's up there on the quote unquote investment leaderboards, or like who has what items. Because back in the day, you used to be able to turn in items for quests to upgrade other items. So doing stuff like trying to predict like, hey, how scarce is this item going to be? X amount of players actually have the stuff they need to turn it in. Will they actually turn it in? You know, things like that. But now with the Shadowstone market, I think it's impossible to see now. You know, I think the best way to see what people have is by going to go to the leaderboards and checking out their loadout whenever they use it. But yeah, it is what it is. Ghostcar says that he hopes that Cliff will implement a level system for blockchain items. He was thinking about this before. Yeah, I mean, I think that would be pretty cool. We need to see how it plays out, but yeah. Okay, pop this here. Well, if any of you that are new to the chat, do me a favor, hit that follow button. Give me a like on YouTube. And thank you in advance, and welcome to the strike team, baby. Oh, there it is. A little bit of lag there. You just want more goals to reach? Yeah, I don't blame you there. I think that would be a very good thing in mind. With everybody pushing up the leaderboards really high, you know, now it takes you longer to be able to level something up, or that satisfaction kind of gets dwindled down until you hit like a major milestone. So I get it. Dude, the Piku's like freaking legit. Just so fast. It's almost run out, and now it's done. So I'm pretty confident that's the way we have to go. There's still plenty of skills to level up. Very true, very true. Excuse me. Let's see where we're at with the skills. So I just leveled up engineering. What was that? Oh, nice. Yeah, I leveled up engineering. Give it a little bit more time. I need to get some of these more production skills up. I don't think I'm going to have time to do it before the patch drops, whenever it drops. But if I get the sand drag and the patch still not out, which I doubt it, I think the pouch will be, which might screw up my sand dragon hopes, but we'll see. But the virtual market is not as active as it used to be. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I wouldn't be surprised right now if we're at an... I mean, I don't want to say all-time low because that's impossible. But we're definitely at a low in terms of player count. I mean, but it is what it is. I kind of like think it's cool because like when social activity is low right now is really where a lot of more, I guess you could say bonds get created. Like, to be quite honest, like watching you guys on YouTube and on Twitch, like definitely makes me feel like there's like a much stronger kinship between players than I've ever seen in the past, which is something that's important to me. You know, I do think that that's something that will be affected when new players come on board. I don't know how long that will be, but you know, we'll just have to see how the game grows and how players choose to choose to participate in not only the economy, but like the social aspects of the game. Any new implementations is possible postponing of things like co-op. Let me see. What do you mean? Think different then. My bounty bucks right now are like a little bit past 450k. Let me see if I get you an exact count. Oh, didn't it used to be here? 451k. 451k. So we're still chugging along. Give me that peppermint. Let's go. There's the lock-in room I was waiting for. I hit 2 bosses on my last run before I went back to bed this morning in the same... I think I was running Wastelands also. But no items, no nothing. Got a piece of armor though. It was news to me when I heard earlier that that armor was no longer a requirement on bounties for the past few weeks. Wait a minute. Hey, blockchain. Let's go. All right. That's what I like to hear. I was like, wait, that sound effect sounds different. What was that? River Pine. Let's go. It is a blockchain. Let's go. We get a little lucky. I'll take it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, hold on. What happened? You're at 436. Not quite sure if you'll make it. I mean, isn't there's still like 27. Like, are a lot of people that close? I had thought there was only like 10 people that were that close, maybe even a little longer. I mean, am I really... Who knows? Who's been talking to players? Who has the 411? That means information for any of you that are not in the US. I guess that's a US thing. It's definitely not just a Texas thing. It's kind of unfair if puzzles are with lots of text, though, to non-English players. Good point. I have a feeling that... Look, riddles are something that's very hard to implement. I haven't been stressing about reading everything, even though, you know, when I get some time, I definitely will read some stuff. But... I don't know. I have a feeling that the riddles aren't going to be what we're thinking, what everybody's thinking right now. And I think that's more because of gameplay hitches that could be caused. You think that bounty chests should be more profitable? Will you have a lot of engine on bounties, but the reward when you open is like 1 in 50 that you get something? So the way I look at bounty chests is that they're not based on the current state of the game, like bounty chests and nests and warden strongboxes, anything that have the random rolls that you can open that you pay for with gold. Those are like gold. I mean, not gold sinks. That is the end game use of gold. Right now, there is no use for gold. Gold used to be able to be acquired so that you could purchase like cosmetic blockchain items with gold, and those were gold sinks, which I thought was really cool. But the game has turned away from that recently, and without that in place, now it seems like the only use for gold in the end game, or like I don't want to say end game, but you know what I mean, at later stages of your grind, are production skills or bounty chest openings. So when you say that like you think that the chest should be more rewarding, I actually think I actually think that that's not a matter of of how often the chests hit. I think that's just a matter of how much gold there is in the system, because like that is right now, if you have 120 and you're already super high production skills, like the only thing that you can do with your time is to earn gold and then open chests to try to get more BC items. So you have to remember also, like we the players are the ones that are setting the gold price. Cliff is not setting the gold price. So if we as players were the ones that said that a gold chest was worth 10k instead of 70k or whatever it is, then that would be a lot. That would be a lot more. That would make. I think that would change your opinion. But you let me know. I'm not sure. What do you think? Because like the way I see it is that like the reward is, you're comparing the reward to the investment, but the investment isn't set by the game. The investment is set by the players. So changing the reward part of it, I mean, it technically accomplishes what you are trying to get at, but it doesn't solve the original problem. Because like if Cliff increased drop rates, then players, if their mind didn't change and everybody keeps acting the same way, then players would raise the gold price and we'd be in the same scenario all over again. You know, I think what needs to change is players' opinions of what the gold of those chests should be. But I don't think that's going to change because right now there are no other uses for gold. Now, this is all me speculating based off the market and based off what I've experienced over the past few years, but you kind of see where I'm coming from, because it's like a two-sided equation, what players do versus what development does. And I think this issue is being created by players, not by development. Even though a development-based system would give you a short-term solution. Oh man, you guys are really going at it on this one. This one's a good topic, huh? Let's see. Ivana says, but you can get a mythical in the end. Adam Bomb says, just hit 500 this morning, deciding if I grab the Sand Dragon. Oh, nice. Nice job, Adam. Look. So it's not you that took the last one. Bounty chest per SE should not be rewarding. They should be, or blockchain resources will never turn back into the pool. They will cause people. They will, because people want the prime price, which is for now the Sand Dragon. Agree with Ghost, only that the current exchange isn't sufficient. Bounties are not sprints, it's a marathon. Best thing to do for reading item descriptions is to ask for a reading from Ivana's stream. Yeah, I was listening to some of that. Just FYI, I love the explanation. Thank you. Rewards are quite okay. That's why does this thing keep blocking my screen? But it's nice to find out more low-tier blockchain items in chests, uncommon and bras, rare, silver, epics, and keep the legendary and mythics in an exchange. This is a grinding game. Don't forget that. Ghost Car. No way of spending gold. I spent everything on producing. Yeah, I mean, so I have to. Yeah, I just have to assume that. A lot of the, I personally think that a lot of the issues in quote unquote issues that are in the game right now are actually player based and not development. No, that's not. I mean, it's 50-50. It's 50-50. But yeah, a lot of the things that I see people complain about or get upset about is actually stuff that that Cliff doesn't have control over. Like for a while I was a little bit like I was like I went through this thought process with Kingslayer, I think, when we were talking about coal. 'Cause, excuse me, I was wanting to increase my production skills, and I was going through the math and looking at it, like what it would cost, how much time would it take, you know, so on and so forth. And then I was just like, you know what? So my thought was that like more coal is being found on lower bounties in lower dungeons because they have more of the uncommon nodes, which are more likely to provide coal, even though I think you can get coal from any node, right? But like the price for coal being at 500-600 for me told me that there wasn't enough coal in the system, that there wasn't enough coal going around, or else the price would be less. And that was my original assumption. So I thought, okay, if that's true, then what that means is there's not enough coal. If all the coal is in the lower bounty, in the lower dungeons, then that means that we don't have enough new players, which also I think is the case right now. Right now we have a lot of players that have been playing for a while that are in more of the higher tier dungeons. So I was like, okay, we should have a gameplay. Excuse me, guys. We should have a gameplay solution to this problem. Make it to where coal is has a better drop rate, or gets dropped in different dungeons, you know. But then I thought about it some more, and I was thinking, like, there's no way for me to actually know whether or not the coal prices is going to be based on drop rate, even though that's what everybody would assume. Because if one person is hard, or like if 3 people are hardcore grinding forging, and they're all competing against each other for coal, then no matter what happens in the short run, as long as that competition is going on between them, the coal price is going to be inflated regardless of the supply. So the question then is, how much coal is actually being bought on a day, a week basis? Because if we have the price of coal at 600, and I'm making up numbers, 10,000 coal is being bought over the course of a day, like that's a completely different situation than if we have 100,000 coal being bought over the course of a day, at $600, at 600 gold per coal. Both scenarios could lead to 600 gold coal, but each one of them would be occurring for completely different reasons. And without actually knowing the reason, the solution is not going to be apparent. So any solution really is a guess, which is why I shut up about it. But I don't know. How much engine do you have to spend to get the Sand Dragon? I'm not doing bounties because I don't want to play low-level dungeons, only to get a bit of profit after 6 months of bounties. But every day, it's like 100 coal being bought in the Emporium. I don't know what the price of the Sand Dragon is right now. I think it was like 100, 200. Let's see. Oh, it's an up and sold. 300, 318 engine. 318 engine is probably what, like $500 right now? That's not bad. I mean, $500 isn't bad, but also like, I mean, I agree with you on the fact that going to lower level dungeons doesn't feel as good. I agree with that completely. I'm also doing lower level dungeons, so I probably don't agree with you as strongly because I'm doing it and you're not. I don't know. It's tough. The Sand Dragon is a long-term goal rather than a short-term. Yeah, I mean it has to be because of the way it's structured right now. Let's see. That's your problem. You don't want to do shit, but you still want the juicy price. I'm reading this Sand Dragon, Gorgondine coming in. This Sand Dragon. Oh yeah, my bad. It's definitely worth to do low level runs to get a bit of bounty bucks. Exactly. again, this goes back to like you know, gameplay economics, which is like, where do people assign value? So different people value the different level of entertainment that the higher dungeons provide can be quantified differently by different players. But then also, like, how do you rank that versus like, is it more important to be having fun in higher level dungeons, or to grind out bounty bucks in lower level dungeons? And if, no matter what your answer is, my question would be, at what point does that equation flip for you? So if you're going into lower level dungeons to buy bounty bucks, how few bounty bucks would you need to get to be like, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore? Like, what would change your mind? Like, if you were getting, right now you're getting like what, 500 bounty bucks for a bronze, and then plus a time bonus of 500. What if you only got 200 bounty bucks for a bronze? Would you still go to lower maps? You know, or if you were getting, if you don't enjoy the bounty buck system, if you don't enjoy grinding lower levels and you're only in higher levels, if bounty buck rewards were increased to 5,000, would you change your mind? Like, trying to figure out, one, how you as a person value that choice, and then two, how does the community value that choice? No, like, if I had those answers, like, it would be fascinating. I think it would be fascinating to see, which is probably one of the reasons why I want the game. I'm not afraid to talk about it, but I don't want Cliff to feel pressure if I start talking about if I start to push further for the idea of going fully blockchain. Because I think other people feel the way I feel, but I would just be fascinated. I would be fascinated by what a fully blockchain game would be like. I have no clue. Everything could just be destroyed, but everything could also be freaking awesome. But like, man, the more I think about it, the more I really want that future to happen. I don't know. What do you guys think? Okay, let's see. You always have done the bronze challenges to get all the time bonuses. It really does add up. Just do the math. Yep, it definitely does. Definitely does. Wait, somebody hit something? Oh, engineering level. Nice. Level 59. Congrats. That's actually really huge. Yeah, I'm at 34. That's like freaking sick. After the first, there's literally millions of virtual items right now. I don't see those turning into blockchain items. I do. I think coal could be turned into a blockchain item, and there's way more than thousands of coal, you know? Just because it's a blockchain item doesn't mean it needs to be the way that we currently have blockchain items. Like, the way Cliff described it was that, like, you can have a blockchain item that doesn't ever leave the game. It's not allowed to leave the game. You have to keep it in your in-game wallet. And the whole purpose of it being blockchain is so that now all of the data related to it being transferred between players, between the game, you know, between being turned in for quests or being, you know, used for forging or, you know, recipes with Efinity, you know, now all that information is now public, which would just be crazy. It would start giving me like EVE Online type of vibes, but with actual player, with Web3 technology backing it. After the first sword, I skipped a lot of bronze bounties. I had enough of them for a while, but back at doing them now. Doubt that they would just burn out. There's probably millions of jugs of water circulating. Yeah, so like, there can be billions of NFTs that are circulating. Like, just because it's an NFT doesn't mean it has to be scarce. There'll be some that are more scarce than others. Like, look at it like baseball cards. Like, there are baseball cards that are significantly rarer than others, and then there's baseball cards that are produced in the millions. you know? And that's for a physical product. In a virtual world, yeah, we could have a game that has billions and billions and billions of NFTs within it. Like, that doesn't change. I don't think it changes. Actually, they would be fungible tokens, not non-fungible tokens, but whatevs. But yeah, I mean, I think that's completely possible. I don't really see where the issue would be. You think there would have to be a creative way to slowly removing them from the game? Why? I mean, I agree with you. I just want to know why you think that. My first thoughts would be that the hindrances of having so many blockchain items would be that you would have to pay so much, quote unquote, gas fees on the new network, which are going to be super cheap, but are still going to add up the more players you have. But yeah, why would jugs of water ever need to be removed? I mean, I'm not saying that they shouldn't or that they should. I just would like to get your opinion on it, I guess. It still has to be minted. Yeah, so minting prices are going to be reduced on the next ideally the minting prices will be reduced significantly when we go to Infinity. What's the price of the Warden Strongbox right now? I have no clue. 150? These are guesses. Let's see. 200? 125? 190. What did I say? I said 150 and I said 250, so 200 average. Yeah, it's pretty close. Pretty close. Still haven't opened one. Still haven't found one. Dr. Loot, hey, what's going on, brother? Thanks for jumping on in. Excuse me, guys. Whatever someone is willing to pay. Yeah, level 59 engineering. He's killing it. A study feature from the bench could be useful for this. You're destructing an item. Oh, like you're crafting, you have the chance to break it. I gotcha. Oh, King Slayer's jumped on in. What up? Everyone loves Dr. Loot. Rightfully so. Grilling fajitas, bro. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. Oof. I was like last week. I got this. I was grilling some fajitas on the grill. I mean, obviously. But marinated fajitas, man. Oh my god, so good. So easy to cook too. Let's see, Dr. Loot. Yeah, man, doing good. Hope you've been able to liquidate as much as you need. What do you mean liquidate? Oh, replying to Kingslayer. What do you mean liquidate? I haven't sold anything actually. So let's see. Ivana says, I'm just a bit worried. How would they impact new players? I feel like current players would be in. Oh, yeah. That's a very good point. Yeah. Definitely players. There would be major benefits to old players versus new. That's a very good point. So your point, I mean, I guess if we go a little bit more into detail, it's not about the fact that there's a lot of them. It's the fact that the current distribution of them is the issue, which I would agree with completely. I've kind of always assumed, and this is just assumption, I kind of assumed that when Cliff started, he's mentioned a lot of times that he wanted to start doing like little mini gameplay events. And I kind of always thought that when he got to that point in the game was going to be the time when he starts introducing these sinks. So like, for example, the water jugs, like we could have a short-term 1 week event where, as the citizens of Talmuth, we have a water shortage, and citizens that are asked to donate water jugs into the town well or whatever, into the town storage. and if we meet certain goals as a community, we get certain rewards. And they would be little rewards. They wouldn't be blockchain stuff, right? I mean, maybe one or two here or there. Maybe that's the new blockchain raffle, is like the more water jugs you put into storage for the community, the more tickets you get into the raffle, or stuff like that. Like, I kind of always assumed that was going to be the way he would fix some of the issues with distributions of virtual items and I think it would even work for blockchain items if you incentivize it correctly. But it would need to be designed appropriately and try to create the right incentives. But that would be a good, like, what if you turned in a whole bunch of jugs and because of that you unlock a special one of a kind title and you get raffle tickets and maybe you get some gold, or he builds a new statue in the town for players that donated. The top 10% of players get their names engraved on a statue, that will be forever in Talmuth for saving the city from water shortage or something. Gameplay aspects like that I think can be really cool, and also solve some of the economic issues, because we've been playing so long under early access, I guess. Could be 100 other things. Those are just small little examples of, I think, things that could be done. But I'll leave the designing to Cliff because that's his forte, right? Let's see. Oh, I got you. You were talking to Kingslayer. Yeah, he was selling some of his stuff. I got you. So he's keeping the Winds of Ash and the Tharbors. Perfect. HEB fajitas are good stuff. Yeah, bro. Oh, where are you located again, man? I always forget. If you don't mind sharing. Or DM me in Discord if you want. Good ideas, because we'll hold the barbecue, bro. We'll make it happen. It's worth mentioning that most water jugs in the game are localized at one user at the moment. How do we know that? Wasn't the try with community doing failed with the tablets? I think the reason for the tablets issue was the fact that the items were being... Oh, I guess you're right. Like, I guess the point you're trying to say is that, like, it all depends on community engagement. Like, if you don't turn in the water jugs, there's nothing that can be done. Well, I mean, that's not necessarily true. I mean, he could do the opposite. He could create a system where, like, you have to use the water jug. No, because then some of the players that are hoarding would have the ability to have a bunch of gold. Would sell it for a bunch of gold. I don't know. I mean, it's something that could be solved 100 different ways, I think. But yeah, I get your point. I get where you're coming from. Maybe Cliff just bundles and burns virtual items. That could be possible for one blockchain. Turn in 1,000 jugs, get one blockchain item. I don't see an issue with that either. Still, huge advantages exist for players. I mean, would you, in terms of the advantages, would you, like, just off the cuff, would you prefer solution? How drastic of a solution would you tend to lean towards? Would you be a player that leans more towards, like, hey, we should do a full reset? Maybe, like, keep your levels, but reset all virtuals or something? Or do you think it should be more of a player-based system in terms of that? I mean, he could also create more water and distribute it to everyone, and in essence, like, reduce the distribution like literally inflate water on purpose and distribute it to everyone. Maybe get your maybe your daily rewards like inside the day 6 gift box or the resource bag. Now water drops, for everybody. So now like the whales are in essence, what's the word I'm looking for, man? I can't think of the word. I really can't think of the word. Like when you own like shares of stock in a company, and then that company creates new shares of stock, so like your percentage of the overall pool is reduced. What's the word I'm looking at? I can't think of it, but you know where I think you know where I'm going with it. Yeah, but so that way the disparity could be reduced. Oops, that was a misclick. I'm not even using my Piku. Reset all blockchains. Reset all blockchains. Reset all blockchains. See, the problem with resetting all blockchains is you got to turn them in. Of course, I mean, I would be cool if we were starting, like, let's say, what if Cliff, guys, we're just speculating up the butt, but whatever. Let's just say that we go into Efinity's launch on Polkadot as like a new refresh, like a new big update comes out for a whole bunch of new players to come on board, and everybody starts from scratch. So like reset all blockchain items, everybody turns in all of your items, and based on some system that is created, like players that turned in items receive something in return. I don't know if it needs to be a gameplay advantage. Maybe it's just like, I don't know. It would have to be something. You'd have to incentivize players to do it. Maybe you start with bounty bucks, or maybe you start with, I don't know. I don't know what the solution there. That would be really hard to do, but players would need to be incentivized. Or maybe a new launch starts with land. Now all blockchain items are being turned in based on the value of your blockchain items according to the game. You are issued X parcels of land. And then I don't know. I mean, you could probably do it 100 different ways. But yeah, a reset could be good. I would assume that there would be a lot of backlash, but I think a reset could be good. I really do, especially with as things progress into the future. We might come to a point where the game, I mean, I guess some people could argue that we're already there, but we can come to a point in the game where we have to reset, or we don't really have a choice because, whatever, gameplay advantages, co-op advantages, production advantages, I don't know. I went through the entire dungeon and I didn't even use the Piku. I'll use it now. Hey there, Cirilla. She's so quick to spawn. Okay, let's see. Any form of reset would destroy the trust in the player base and progression. I mean, I wouldn't go that far into saying any form because we've already had resets. So, and there's obviously still a community here. Let's see. Kingslayer sold his virtual items. Glitwood, maybe. Dilution. Thank you, Adam. That's the word I was looking for. Coming from scratch series, missed out on the selling part. Let's see. Oh no, reset, that would scare away players, but giving out account bounded items aesthetics are similar. So many players feel special if they contributed but are not given too large of an advantage. Maybe a little bit. I mean, like, I guess the whole point is that I think there would be ways to find a middle ground. Because like, I think there would be ways to find a middle ground. But yeah, no, I don't know. I'm obviously not advocating for a reset. I'm just saying if there came a reason for it, and we had to go through that, those would obviously be really important conversations to happen. But also, I don't think it's also safe to assume that the systems that Cliff set up in the past, like maybe it's not the systems that Cliff set up in the past are based on a lot of decisions that were made for the time and the technology that was implemented at that time. So I think it's not safe to assume that they will last forever. That also doesn't mean that there has to be a reset. But you know what I mean. You know where we're going with it. We like to play. We're just playing out different scenarios. I mean, technically, when we move over to Efinity, you know, there's going to be a lot of NFTs of blockchain items that are lost forever. He won't be able to keep that bridge up forever. You know, at some point in time, there'll have to be a cutoff, and at that time, those will be gone. You know, imagine all the items that are already lost because people don't have access to their engine wallet anymore. You know. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, you're probably right about the player base, their reactions. I would agree with you. I guess in the effort of critical thinking, do you think that there could ever be a solution to meet in the middle? Or do you think that that would be too complicated and too emotionally impacting to even worry about? Because like, what's the future hold then, right? Like, because like, under the assumption that the community grows in the future, like, we're gonna have a group of players that are already. I mean, look at your levels, like, right? Like, how many hours did it take you to get to level 90? I'm assuming you're already there at level 90. Like, that's a huge advantage, or that could be a huge advantage if levels gate somebody off, or whether they are related to production or gathering or combat. How do we solve that disparity, right? How do we solve the disparity between players that have put in thousands of hours and players that have put in tens of hours? Is there a disparity that needs to be solved? Is that just the nature of the game? Is that how the game is going to that's just the way it's going to be? I mean, I could see a world where the players that get to production level 100 have so much power that they control all the markets, all the gold market within their production skill, or within an item within their production skill. I could see something like that happen, and actually that happens all the time in the real economy. So why wouldn't it happen in this virtual economy? You know, and you know, people complain that, you know, Elon Musk has too much power, or Russia has too much power, or, you know, the United States has too much power, but it never changes. I mean, no, it does change. Power does change, but it takes a long time for that to change. Way longer than a video game exists, right? Let's see. I mean, if there was no, I missed that one. Yes, I do. But as I said, it would have to be very creative and maybe done in steps, not overnight. Yep, true that. I feel you. I don't think the same about levels and virtual items. Cool. You don't see virtual items as... Okay, so why do we have virtual items? And why do we have levels? And what's the difference between a level and a virtual item? I guess it all comes down to The thing that virtual items and levels have in common is player progression. Items can allow a player to progress the same way that XP can allow a player to progress. So if one of them does not provide enough progression or provides too much progression, I mean, I guess that would also assume that there's a right balance, and there probably won't be. Like, I just don't see. I just, let me see if I can pull. I can't pull it up right now because, damn it. Okay, there's this chapter in the book that I'm reading right now, "The Invisible Hand of Virtual Worlds," by Ryan McCaffrey. No, not Ryan McCaffrey. Ryan McCaffrey is an editor at IGN. It's another McCaffrey. The chapter talks about the idea of it's all about video game economics. The chapter talks about the idea of the creation of social and economic systems in chaotic environments. And when they say chaotic, what they mean is like an environment that does not have a government or does not have laws. And I guess in the case of video games, what they're trying to say is that, like, in MMOs, there really isn't like a police force, you know, there really isn't a like law creation system. You just have the developers, which are like pretty much God, right? Whatever they create goes. Whatever is created, you know, is how the world is, because that is just the nature of it. But in the chapter, it talks about how, as human beings, we instinctually create these systems of order, whether it's economic order, like what the price of coal should be, or whether it's social order, as in like if someone's being toxic in the community, people call them out, and that can make them less incentivized to play the game. We create these like systems of order that normally governments do. Like governments make the law on, like, you know, if you are being physically aggressive to someone, you know, that there's a law for that, you know, like, but we, the players, are really the ones that are creating it. And when I think of the future of Lost Relics, if without a substantial major change, we're already in a chaotic world, this definition of a chaotic world where we're all kind of just making the rules up together. Like, you know, like we've had streamers come in from the past that just like wanted to shit on the game and just complete negativity, and they were ostracized. Like people weren't allowing them in the game. People weren't, what happened? Hold on really quick, guys. What happened? Sorry about that. What were we saying? Yeah, it's just a fascinating chapter. Where was I going with that? Oh yeah, like the idea of like, if Lost Relics keeps progressing the way it's going to be progressing, we're going to have so many relics, so many items, so many things that like it, I would venture to say that the game cannot be balanced already. Like, what's it going to be like in the future? You know. So in that world, in a world where we can't balance the game, systems will be created, I think, by players that will try to balance out those things, one way or another. I mean, I don't know how, but you know, staying in the game and leveling up, I see that as a commitment to the game. And when it comes to giving advantages to hoarders, I don't think it's the same. Yeah, I think you're right. I would also push back on the idea a little bit by saying, like, I do think that time is a very valuable method of, and time and player engagement is a very valuable way to define commitment. I also do think that financial commitment holds as much weight, if not, I mean, I think they're two sides of the same coin. I think somebody can be committed to the game financially without putting in the hours and also, you know, on the flip side of the coin, have someone that put in that chooses not to put in any financial any finances into the game, but chooses to put in their time. I think we need both. I think we need a healthy balance of both. Because time is just money, and time is money. And if you're putting in time into the game without putting in fiat or crypto, that is money too, right? I guess it's just we're trying to, again, balance the two. But like, yeah, like in terms of hoarding, it's something I thought about a lot, obviously. I wish there was a way. I mean, yeah, I wish there was a way. I don't like the idea that some of my items are being held in the wallet or being held in game and like not getting any use. Like, I really do think that, like, hey, if they're there, you know, no one's using them. It takes them out of circulation. Like, that has a financial impact for sure. But like, where's the fun impact? It should also have a fun impact, you know? And I assumed from the beginning that we were going to get renting and lending, and that was the reason why I kind of started accumulating. But I don't assume that anymore. That all changed around Easter of last year. For me now, I mean, I really don't know where we're going. I think this next patch will give us a really good idea on what the future is going to be. I also think that because it's going to be a big change, that a lot of players aren't going to like it. But I do think that the people that are here now are the ones that are committed the most, either economically, based on their time, or socially committed. Because I do think there's been a lot of friendships that have been built that will last for a long time. And I think those will continue to grow. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, if there was a way for me to be able to use my stash to help players in the game or to progress the game somehow, some way, you know, I would totally take advantage of it if it existed. If a system like that existed, I would be on it 100%. Overall level does not relay progress. Does not relay progress. Does not exactly progress you in the game. Combat level doesn't, but production skills and gathering skills do, because based on what you're able to produce and gather is what you can sell, and based on what you can sell is how you equip your virtual items or your virtual relics or your virtual consumables or whatnot. So there definitely is a XP progression to the game. It might not be combat level, but it could be other forms of other forms of XP. It's just a matter of how much gold you're willing to spend. Production level, well, that's not necessarily true about how much gold you're willing to spend, because I mean, I got to level 40 on my I got to level 25 on all of my production skills. Of course not forging because it's new. And I did that just based off of all the items that I hoarded from my runs. You know, I was always one of the players where I always hit every node. I always 100% cleared dungeons, or at least attempted to. And I always held on to those resources. And then when it came time to focus on production, I had weeks of items to be able to use to increase XP. Right now, if I wanted to increase XP because I went through all of those storages, I'm sure I have some stuff I could maybe go up a level or two. But yeah, right now I would definitely need gold. But again, gold is just time too. How much time does it take you to finish dungeons, and you're rewarded gold along the way, right? So the more gold in the system is really just how many hours of gameplay people have put into the system. Yeah, because even if you come in with money, you're buying somebody else's time and the amount of gold that they were able to generate in that time when they buy the pendant from you. But spending a lot of time in the game getting loot and deciding to hoard instead of loot boxes is also a gray area. When is hoarding okay versus people that buy in, and is buying in bad? Definitely buying in is not bad. I think that is Granted, you all, I mean, it's just my opinion, obviously, but I definitely don't think buying in is bad. But one thing I would definitely like to say is that, like, if we're a community that is based on, if we're going to be a blockchain game, like, the inherent benefit of being a blockchain game is that you have the ability to connect virtual economies with real world economies. Like, that was the foundation of cryptocurrency. It started with finance. It's not always going to be finance, and it will evolve past finance, but that's where it started. Like, that is the thing that blockchain games have that traditional video games don't right now. There is always going to be, I think there will always be a financial aspect to all blockchain games. I don't think that they need to be the main part of the game. I really, really don't. There's blockchain games that I play that I haven't put any investment into. And I actually think that I know for a fact I am not the majority of blockchain gamers, right? But if you take away, if you take away what blockchain can bring to games, I think you're going to be missing out on experimenting on what the future of video games will be. What was your question again? People that buy in. Also, going back to where I started with it. Like, I don't think buying in is bad in any game. I tend to agree with Cliff on the idea of, like, pay to win isn't a real thing. At the end of the day, what we're talking about is, how does a video game sustain itself to be able to produce content for games? Same thing we talk about when we talk about a movie studio or a publisher or a writer. Like, how do you do your living to be able to produce whatever piece of entertainment other people are enjoying? This financial model of, like, free to play or play to win, pay to earn, or whatever you want to call it, it's just a model. It's just a financial system that is made up. It's just made up to be able to bring in enough revenue to be able to create the next thing, to be able to grow, and to be able to not die. You know, in accounting, granted, I'm a CPA, right? So in accounting, there's this concept that's called going concerned. It's the moment when a business is able to generate enough income to not only sustain itself, but to continue to grow on into the future. And they call that the going concern moment, because that's the moment when the feasibility of the company is realized, and the moment where decisions for the future growth are now able to be rationalized. That's not the right word. Rationalized. It's the moment when it's the moment of feasibility. It's the moment when the game plan or the business plan is now actually possible to be achieved and then to be iterated on. So, like, in all types of businesses, including nonprofits, in all types of businesses, everyone is assumed to fail before you meet the standard of going concern. Like, that is how hard it is to succeed as a business. And this is just a model that people created to be able to sustain themselves, right? So, like, we can create new models, and crypto definitely gives us way more models to implement than traditional video games had in the past. I want to see how those play out. In terms of hoarding, I mean, I don't think hoarding is a bad thing. I think hoarding has negative consequences, but the concept of hoarding, I don't think is inherently bad. I also think as gamers, we're kind of stuck. The culture of gaming, I think, is kind of stuck behind the idea of, like, not wanting to put any money into games. I think the way that this economic model has progressed is, like, now given players, their first thoughts are no longer about how much does this game cost. Now players think that every game should be free. And that's because this system has evolved and taken over the market. I don't think that's going away anytime soon. But I do think that that there are more negative consequences from gamers having that assumption about putting money into the game. Like, for example, if you're putting in 80 hours into a game, 100 hours into the game, and you never put in $1, like, I mean, I would be fully happy to be able to tell you that the developers of that game deserve your money. Like, they deserve their work that provided you 100+ hours of enjoyment or entertainment. It merits financial reward. You can disagree, and that's fine. But not having players put money into games, and that being the new standard, it makes it to where more and more games fail, and less games become successful, and it's a race to the top, or it's a race to see if you can be in the top. I think it could lead to a world where there's only 5 video games, the 5 biggest games in the world that people play and are able to succeed off into the future, while every other video game can be created, lives for 3 to 6 months, and then dies because of funding. I mean, of course, I'm talking in extremes right now, but yeah, like, so when I saw, like, for example, like Corin's stream, like, she's new to the game, and I hope, you know, just going to give my opinion, you know, what it is. But she, you know, came in day one and was told pretty much by the player base, you know what, don't use a pendant. Don't buy blockchain items yet. Don't spend money. In other words, don't spend money yet. And that's okay. I think everyone should be able to make that own decision for themselves. But as a community and as an economy, all of us are participants inside this inside this economy. It should be a benefit that people are incentivized to put money into the game. I don't think it should be forced. It definitely should not be forced. But yeah, I mean, if we want the economy to grow, if we want the game to grow, we're going to need people to put money in. There's just no way for it to happen. Sorry, that was a long rant. Jumbled a lot, I know. Let me read what you guys are saying, because the Striker giveaway series soon. Hey, for this a sub. Again, my bad, guys. I still don't have my notifications. I'm checking in with YouTube real quick. Dragon Girl Writers jumped on in. What's going on? Good to see you. Tim jumping in saying, I think Cliff said that renting and lending are coming. He did say they were coming, but also, like, what does that mean, right? What is in like, even the idea of lending, like, what is lending in Lost Relics? It might not be the normal type of lending that we think of. I mean, could be, but it might not be. Let's see. I'd like to see some sort of donation wallet that if it couldn't be abused, that would allow veteran players to donate things like gray weapons and food. Yeah, so like back in, if you go look, I think on Lost Relics, I think it's a frequently asked questions of the website. Or maybe it's under the updates. I think like a year ago, a bunch of the guys that were grinding and gals that were grinding, you know, a lot of the uncommon items in the very beginning, when gas fees started to spike for the first time, we knew that players couldn't progress because they didn't have, they weren't able to pay the gas fees to get uncommon items. So a lot of us started a donation pool, and we all donated all of our uncommon items. Like, in terms of, if I were to search just blockchain, weapons, uncommon, like, I have no katanas. I have 2 longbows. I have 1 axe. Yeah, so like I have 2 longbows, one axe. That's all the uncommon items I have, because back then when that happened and we realized players couldn't progress, a lot of us got in and donated all of our uncommon weapons to get them back in the loot pool. And yeah, it turned into a donation spree over the course of like 3-4 days. Yeah, it was a good way for the community to be able to give back. I think more systems like that would be great, that don't involve, like, the problem right now is that if you wanted to do something like that, it creates more work for Cliff. And I think he talked about making a system to where it could be automated for players to do it, so that he doesn't have to work on that every single time somebody wants to do it. That would be cool. And I think that might be coming, actually. So we'll have to see. We'll have to see what the future holds. I think, let's see, XICX. I think NFT games that are not polished or finished shouldn't take money, period. It's dishonest and not good for the NFT space. I think from a business standpoint, that is a chicken and the egg problem, because if you don't have funding, you can never get started. But if you never get started, then you can never produce a product for people to invest in. So I don't think that's something that is successful. I instead would say like, yes, I think NFT games, and these are just opinions, right? And I would love to talk about them some more with you guys. But like, yeah, I think that developers should be allowed to do initial. It's just fundraising. It's the same way that a producer of a video game would pitch their idea to a production company, and the production company would give them the green light or the boot, right? Like right now, there's like a significant amount of boots. You know, in a world where players are the ones that financially back the system in the beginning, they are in essence the producers of the game and allow for the creation of the game. I think that game developers should have more. I think there should be more standardization in terms of how game producers describe their product that they are going to sell before the creation of the game to the player base. But honestly, if it was me, if I was wanting to, I'm investing in different games, right? Like, if it was my perfect world, I would want to know. I would want to have financial statements of the company. I would want to see what is their likelihood for bankruptcy. I would want to see how much in assets they hold. What are their liabilities? How much of a team? What does the payroll of that company require? What's their run rate on cash? This is all like basic business stuff that I would ask before we even talk about what your product is, to see if you're able to sustain development in general. Then on top of that, I would want to know, okay, what is the gameplay system? What is the gameplay loop of the game, and what is the economic model of the game, and what is the system for creating updates to change those things over the course of time? Like, for me, those would be basic items needed that don't exist right now. But honestly, guys, even if I got my way, even if every single video game company did it exactly the way I just described, no one would give a shit. Players would not care. Players would not read financials. What they would do is they would go to YouTube, find their favorite influencer, see what game they were playing, and trust that more than the reading or research that they would do. That's just the nature of what people would do. And do I think that that's wrong? Yes. Would I ever do that? No. I still think that it's important for those things to exist without. I still think that those things are important to exist whether or not people use them or not. But yeah, I also don't think that without them we should not let developers fundraise at all. I don't agree with that. Maybe some things will change in the future that will change my mind, but for right now, I think that's where I would stand on that one. Selling NFTs on unfinished games is bad. I just gave my point on that. Polish the game like any game dev would and implement. See, the problem is that not every game dev would be able to do that. That would mean that a lot of games would just not be able to be created, which could be a good thing for some and bad thing for others. I would rather have more people attempting to create video games to see how the video game industry develops over time than the opposite. But that's, again, my personal thing. A lot of games do sell stuff before a game's even playable. Very, very true, obviously. We need some real games, not ones that are made to eat people's money. Yeah, I think it's just going to take time. I think we're all super early. I think you should give it some time. Yeah, Jimmy pretty much coming in saying it's all still new. Let's see what else. It rewards you for not using a pendant day one. Oh yeah, my bad. The thing about corn. Let's see. And I'm not gonna tell someone to do something that I know is suboptimal. Well, see, are you sure it's suboptimal? Are you sure it's suboptimal is the question. I would venture to say that based on the system of the game right now and how many players there are, I don't think it's possible to determine what an optimal decision making strategy to have an optimal. I don't think an optimal strategy exists. You're basically making people pay for prototypes. Yeah, I mean, yes, that is, yes, like that is that. See, the problem that's exactly it. People should be allowed to be able to buy into prototypes as they do now in the traditional financial system. The thing is that players, honestly, I think players need to have I think game developers need to focus a little bit more on, honestly, financial education, not only for themselves, but for their customers and for their player base because of the new way that things are going. Is the vid has delay? Oh, am I lagging, guys? Do I have a little bit of a delay? Let me know. What's the difference between a non-NFT game developer and a NFT game developer? Well, easy one is that one has options of funding that another one doesn't. One has a completely different community than the other. Let's see. It's pretty much common of non-NFT games. I just love non-NFT games because it has a black market, no gas. You know, Anonymous, that's a really good point about the black markets in video games. Those black markets are the solutions that players created to solve problems within the game, quote unquote problems. Those black markets, I think, are the natural evolution of video game economies. They're not really black, they're gray markets because they're not illegal. They're just against the game's terms of service. But they're not illegal from a law standpoint. Like you won't go to jail, right? Depending, I mean, there's things that cross the line for sure. But like those markets are human-made markets to solve problems within digital economies. I think the easiest thing that blockchain games can do is to legitimize those markets. And you've seen games try to do it. So like you've seen Mir 4. So like the idea of boosting, you've seen Mir 4 create NFTs based on your player progression and then allow you to sell that NFT. That is just an answer to the boosting communities. Like instead of like having to pay someone, give them your account, instead you buy the player or the level of the character you want from them. You know, that solves that. In terms of gold farming, you know, we kind of saw that with Axie Infinity and guilds like YGG, which is like they have scholars that they call quote unquote scholars that are farming SLP, which in this case would be gold, and that SLP can then be used either in game or be used to be able to cash out. You know, that is a way that Web3 technology allowed for that gray market to exist. Now, instead of having gray market gold vendors, now instead we have systems that allow players the ability to earn or sell that equivalent of the virtual currency in the game to other players. What's another one? Gold farming, boosting, item renting and lending. You know, obviously, you know, Lost Relics with the idea of like no longer do you need to, if you get a virtual item, you don't have to go to eBay, list your virtual item, and then give the seller your account login to be able to take over your account, or meet you in game to be able to trade it. Now those things are serviced by the technology that exists. I think more game. I think that's the low hanging fruit. the games that are able to pull off all of those and the other gray markets that exist in the current traditional video game space are going to be the ones that get like a majority of the early economic benefits. And then where we develop from there is a question everyone's trying to answer. So how are indie games going to get funding to make games? Very true. It's very difficult for indie games. Like right now, the way that I would venture to say that a majority of the way that indie games are made, actually, this would be a really good question for Cliff on like, what was his journey to indie game development? What did it look like? And what he thinks like the average indie game developer goes through. Maybe not necessarily him, but like what does he think his peers go through? And my guess would be that a lot of them are moonlighting. They're working a job, 40 hours a week. And then in their off time, they're spending 10 to 20 hours a week developing their game for a significant amount of time, pretty much investing personal time, investing their time and their work to be able to create their passion project before they launch that to the public. I don't think that is a very good model for creating video games. I think less video games will be made using that model, using the model where players are able to jumpstart the funding of a game means that developer could theoretically leave their job or be able to work more hours on their job than they were before because their funding is secured, which should, in theory, lead to better products. It should lead to more games existing than previously did, because the barrier of entry has been reduced. That's how I see it. You seem to ignore the technical parts related to blockchain. Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Also, I mean, the technical aspects of blockchain are a beast in itself, right? Like they're changing so often, and no one knows that when they're created, whether or not that's going to be the change that is going to be the standard, or if they're adopting a new change that's going to go away in a couple months. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy. It's hard. It's just hard. Like, how do you put something to work if you don't know if it's going to exist in the future? I remember one time I was working on a client at an old job, CPA firm as well, and we were going through like a tax strategy that would work for this specific client. And after hours and hours and hours of research, we came up with this one strategy that literally 3 weeks later was reversed by a Supreme Court decision. And it's just like all this time and all this effort was put together to do this work that no longer, is feasible because the law has now changed, and like putting that into a video game developer standpoint, like you spend all these hours building on Ethereum, and then all of a sudden the 721 standard isn't the standard of the future, and you built your entire game and economy based on that technology, but now nobody uses that for whatever reason. Like, it would be devastating. Most games won't survive. That's why, like, when it comes to blockchain games, survival is the key aspect that I look at when it comes to like it's a key aspect in terms of like investment. The games that have hit major roadblocks and have failed and still survived are the games that I think are the ones that have the most likelihood of success. But of course, that's not the only criteria, so it depends. Let's see. But the bigger issue is more about devs that make egregious promises or what their game... I mean, on one hand, about game developers that make egregious promises, like, At what point? I mean, there's a line. There's a line that obviously game developers can cross, but there's also a line that like gamers need to take responsibility for too. Because like, if they were egregious promises, you should be able to tell the difference between an egregious promise and a realistic promise before making an investment, shouldn't you? It should work. It works both ways. Both players and developers are responsible. If you buy a car, you expect it to move despite who you buy it from? Yeah, for sure. But if I bought Tesla stock before they even made a car, I should also have the right to be able to do that. And look at where Tesla is now, right? It works both ways. And a lot of those same arguments were made too with Tesla, right? That you were only getting half a car because their production was shoddy. Or because the value of the company exceeded all the cars that were being produced for the entire year. Like, those arguments have been made, you know. Right or wrong doesn't really matter, I guess. The point of the matter is that, like, both models, that company right now wouldn't exist without having started the way that it started. And again, we go back to the idea of, like, using one model versus using both models means less things get made. There's risk both ways. And I would err on the side of allowing more risk to be there within reason, right? I mean, if there really are egregious game developers that are promising the moon, and I think they should be called out by their communities. I think that is the power that that developers have. That players have. I think just players need to see. The problem, I think, is that because these models have never existed before for players, like, there is a line of, like, not understanding what our responsibilities are. You know, like, if we are putting money into blockchain games, like, what are our, like, it doesn't make sense to put money into a game and then assume that it's the developer's job to make you all the money. If you were doing that, you would be buying stock of the company. You wouldn't be buying an NFT, because the stock is inherently attributed to the profit of the company. If you're buying an NFT or you're participating in a virtual world, it's because you believe the economy within that virtual world will lead you to either entertainment, profit, socialization, whatever you're trying to get out of it. But that economy is not only based on the developer; it's based on the players too. You know? It's not the job of players to fund game developers. I think it's the exact opposite. Players are the customers of game developers. Without the customers, there's no business. Is that including Elden Ring? Can you repeat that? Because I'd love to talk about Elden Ring. What do you mean by, is that including Elden Ring? Did you not try this one out? Not yet. If you can make a game, maybe you shouldn't be. How do you know if you can make a game? How do you know if you can make a game before you actually make a game? Like, all things are impossible until they are done the first time, right? It's personal choice to play and help development of the game. I agree with that. Let's see. How do I? Okay, that. Let's see. How many games has Cliff made? I think it says on the website. He posts some details about his resume. He's been in AAA development before, and I don't know if this is his first indie game, but yeah, he's definitely worked on quite a bit of games before, and he's listed them before. I just can't recall them right now. Kind of hard to express doubt in the NFT space. Kind of hard to express doubt in the NFT space. What do you mean by doubt? I would like to play more off of that idea. Because I'm not... Since fans tend to be less skeptical for reasons involving crypto. So I think you're trying to say that because it's crypto based, there's less skepticism because of the, like, crypto's going to take over the world mentality? Is that what you mean? Have I got something good? I hit a River Pine blockchain item earlier in one of the runs. Give me one quick second, guys. All right, boys and girls, I got one or two more runs left in me, and we're going to call it because I need to get some lunch. But throw me those questions in the chat. Yeah, this is definitely not Cliff's first game for sure. Let's see what else. What happened to the Easter event, says Arcadia Game. So it sounds like a couple things. One, holiday events are going to be changed. I don't think we're going to be having holiday events anymore. We're going to be having in-world events. Like, we're going to have events during the year that are not like around a holiday. That will probably be based off like gameplay lore, I guess. Also, it sounds like this Easter event is going to be replaced with a bigger patch that is going to, what Cliff's words, shock a lot of players in terms of the size of the patch. So I think we're going to have to wait and see what that is. You can go to lostrelics.io if you want to read up more on it. Let's see. Aren't dragon teeth a material for bounties? I believe they are. A dragon's teeth? No. No, dragon's teeth is a it's a legendary resource found in Gathering, and I think it's found on Wastelands. So fingers crossed that I hit one. Let's see. Cliff recently said he's... Oh, hold on. Let's see. Cliff recently said he's leaning towards not allowing players to craft blockchain items so what's the incentive to craft? He also said recently that he wants the best blockchain items to be earned as rewards. What are your thoughts? Could we see an expanded quest reward bounty book system that unlocks additional rewards for meeting qualifications like bounties? Okay, that's a good one. So when I re-listened to the last interview I did with Cliff, that was actually I'll re-listen to it and I'll like create questions that I should have followed up on. Like, oh man, I should have asked more about this topic or that topic. And that's on my list. That's like one of my top 3 was when he talked about the idea about players crafting blockchain items. He said that he was leaning away from it. Doesn't mean that it's like completely out the door, but he did say that that there were positives and negatives to the system. I would love to talk more. I wish I would have asked him about what he thought the negatives to the system were. From what I've heard in other blockchain games, I think it's a fascinating concept. I think it can also, like from a game developer side, from a business standpoint, it can create I think a legal separation. I'm not a lawyer, guys, but I think it can create a separation between the economy that the game developer is responsible for and the economy that the players are responsible for, and that could have a lot of impacts for financial reporting, for all the legal red tape related to KYC and AML. I don't know if it's exact solutions, but I would love to talk more about that topic. So I don't really know why he is leaning away from it, other than the fact that he said it. I think it would be fascinating. I mean, one of the things I've always had in my back of my head was to get up my production skills. to be prepared for a moment like that if it ever came. But I do think that that's something that if it did come, it would probably be multiple patches out. Going back to your idea about the bounty system, I do think the bounty system... I don't think the bounty system is going away. I think it's more likely that the bounty system will be iterated on, improved, changed, updated. I think the bounty system might be one of the most... I think the most important pillars of the game would be the in-game marketplace is number one. I mean, I guess they all carry the same weight, but like if I had to rank them, like in-game marketplace, bounty system, and then loot pool generation and dropping. I think carefully watching those three things and how they evolve over time will help you better understand like what the future holds economically for the game, but we'll see. What do you think about in the future? What do you think the future held? What do you think the future held with blockchain used in crafting? He removed them from tools. Good move or no? I guess what I tend to think is I've always looked at the production skills as a gold-based system. I never looked at them as a blockchain-based system. You know, that could just be in my mind because there's no real reason, I guess, that it couldn't be either or both or one or the other. I don't know. That's a tough one. I do think that there could be some better, I do think that there could be some improvements, but I kind of really don't know what those are. I mean, I think there would be more gameplay design. That's not my area of expertise. But if we were creating blockchain items, then that would obviously be the easiest way to implement it in the current system, I would assume. So I guess we would see. I can imagine it's hard to come up with follow-up questions. Like, honestly, the way me and Cliff tend to have done our discussions in the past, they're completely off the cuff, you know? As a matter of fact, like the last interview that I had was like, when I was streaming, like for just the one when I was streaming, for example, when he jumped on in, like no clue that was going to happen and just had to ask the questions that were on my mind, you know? And like, I don't know, I guess I obviously have done like a significant amount of I don't know if you want to call it analysis or just critical thinking on Lost Relics, obviously because of, you know, the investment or the stash that I have, you know, the future of the game, the impacts that it could have. I've done a lot of thinking about a lot of stuff that I'm sure a lot of players would say is a waste of time, or would like may not have even got into that level of criticism or looking at it. Yeah. So I guess going back to your question. Oh, let me see. Where was it? Man, I just blanked. What were we talking? I'm sorry, I just blanked, guys. My bad. I'm really hungry. Oh yeah, off the cuff interviews. Yeah, I mean those have just been off the cuff. Like, I don't know. I'm a much better speaker and presenter than I am a writer. So I just try to play towards my strengths and try to keep it entertaining. Try to keep it like to where the reason why I called it Fireside Chat was because I want to keep it. I want to keep it just like we're just shooting the shit, you know. Like, honestly, it would be more fun to me to have conversations with Cliff about non-Lost Relic stuff, because to reduce the fear of him accidentally leaking something that he didn't want to or affecting the economy in a way that he didn't want to. Because I do think the way that he thinks about Lost Relics is fascinating, and I would love to riff off of the other stuff. And I know right now he's super busy, so I don't even want to ask, you know. But we'll see. But yeah, I mean, hopefully I'm lucky enough to be able to speak with him again in the future, and if so, if there's time ahead of time, like there was like a 1 day heads up, I think, on the last one, where I quickly asked some of you guys in chat for like to give me questions you would like to know. You know, I'm totally down. And honestly, like I think I don't have the time for it right now with tax season, but hopefully tax season winding down over the next few days will allow some time for stuff to happen. But I would really like to have community-based discussions, community-based videos where we can talk about some of these things. Because honestly, like our opinions on our thoughts, I think are the driving factor behind what Cliff creates. And like, I mean, the more that we're able to talk about stuff as a community, the easier it is to like paint a picture on what's important to us. Because like a lot of us can be saying stuff like, oh, you should buff this or nerf that or make these changes. Like, that's valid feedback for sure. But like, I think what's more important is the reasoning behind why you gave that feedback. And we don't get that reasoning in like in tweets or in Discord posts. You don't get that nuance that is needed. And I think if a few of us got together, started having some podcast type discussions, or I mean, it doesn't even need to be anything formal, just like literally talks to try to like dive a little deeper on why we feel the way we feel on certain topics. I think that might be able to help give Cliff a clearer picture on what the community's thinking, and then he can then take that and implement it how he likes or how he sees, you know, if he can better understand what we feel and think rather than what we say to do, you know. Why aren't our blockchain items in wallets automatically like other NFT games? So for blockchain, like, so one of the potential solutions to getting around gas fees is to have this in-game wallet and an in-game economy and an outside economy. So like, as a player, you can choose to have your blockchain items in the game and be able to trade gaslessly on the Emporium, or you can choose to withdraw them. It's your choice. You can do whichever one that you like. If you want to withdraw your items, go for it. We are on Engine and within Ethereum, which means Ethereum gas fees apply. So make the choice that works best for you. Probably as a fail-safe. If a blockchain item is obtained by illicit means, it's just gone. No, I think the reason for the in-game versus the out-game, it can provide a lot of different benefits. I would just say that the number one is to get rid of gas fees. Oh yeah, also because, yes, and that's a good point, DMD. If we were to ever move blockchains to try to find potential better solutions to the issues of gas fees or other issues with Ethereum, we would need to have them in the game in order to be able to make that kind of hop. I mean, you have some of your blockchain items in the game and none of them in your wallet, so basically you don't own any of them, then technically you also don't own any of the money that's in your bank account either, right? So I would push back on your idea of ownership. Legal ownership means that you have the right and title to the property that you own. You don't have to actually have physical possession in order to own an item, according to current financial standards and laws. But yeah, if your standard is ownership only applies if you have possession, physical possession, then I definitely recommend that you take your items out of the game. Just be aware that if we move blockchains, or when the Efinity change comes, you would need to move them back into the game in order to cross the bridge into the new chain. Why is no one talking about secret rooms? I would love to see that in the next update. Ghost Car. I would guess that the reason why no one's talking about him is because, like in 2020 and 2020, that's all we talked about. People searching for secret rooms. I mean, I used to take a warden's key before strong boxes existed. I would take a warden's key in with me on every run because I was always under the thought process that like in one of the dungeons randomly a door would spawn, and if you had the key, you could go into the door. That was obviously wrong, but yeah, there's been a lot of speculation on that. Also, I think Cliff doesn't want people wasting their time knowing that there's not stuff in there right now to be found. But he did say that in the future when stuff is ready to be found, he'll let you know. Felt like the truth bomb when he said maybe not crafting blockchains. Most of us have been assuming that that was the reason why we leveled production skills till now. I mean, I kind of still think it's gonna happen. I think Cliff has done a very good job of seeing what other games do and implementing their systems into Lost Relics slowly over time. And I mean, there's risk, right? Because like if a new system comes out, like before scholars were a thing, right? Or before renting was a thing or whatever, right? Like as these new systems come out, it takes some time to see what are all the holes. And there's a first mover advantage and there's a big first mover risk. I mean, look at Axie right now with the hack that they just had. You know, they were trying to develop their own blockchain, one of the very first ones to do it. And this was a risk, you know, and it played out and it sucks. You know, but I kind of think that's the reason why I wanted to ask them the question to follow up on, because I think that might be the way that all blockchain games are going, because it takes away some responsibility from developers and it puts it on players. So I'd be interested to see what he thought some of the cons were. I wouldn't rule it out just yet. As a matter of fact, I'm still personally planning on developing production skills for that reason. I might not be doing it right now, but it's still in my to-do list. Hey Striker, where do you get the skin? It's not in the encyclopedia. Ah, this one. This is the secret skin, the super secret skin. There used to be a rule that said, and I don't know if it was from Cliff or from the players about not sharing how to get this, but I just know that there was multiple talks about not telling people how to get it, because it was supposed to be more of a surprise. But I think a lot of people know now, so someone will probably be able to tell you in the chat. I probably will hold off on telling you for right now. But you could definitely see Spizzo's stream. I think he talks about it on stream. Maybe I should just say it doesn't. I don't think it really affects anything, but I don't know. I know so many questions to ask Cliff. Yeah, and I'm sure there would be a lot that he wouldn't want to answer publicly too. I agree. I don't know. I could think of questions that could lead to community unraveling, and I'm sure he'd rather not go through that act. I tend to think that the idea of community unraveling is a lot harder than players give it credit for. I think because no matter what is said, we can still go back to the idea that we're under early development, you know? So you have to pay gas fees to take out your NFTs, and then Axie they're in your wallet. Yeah, I mean, no, you can keep your NFTs in your wallet just like Axie. You can keep them in your engine wallet. They don't have to be in the game. You pay a gas fee to mint. Yep, exactly. You have to pay a fee for something I got with my time and my money. I mean, you have to pay a fee for using your bank account too, you know? Like, things aren't free. Like, I wish they were, but things aren't free. Let's see. You're owed the money in your bank account, that's true. So are we really getting NFTs or just virtual items that can be minted to NFTs? You're getting both. You're getting both. It depends on the item. What will be the utility of the new city? I don't know, man. That's tough. That's a big question. That's a really big question. That if I knew that, I think we would know everything about what's about to come. You know. I have no clue. I honestly have no clue. And to go further, like I have no clue what the heck land will look like in the future. I love how he was riffing about the idea of like, what if, you know, an item lost in a dungeon can be found on someone's land and then that person benefits from it randomly. I mean, he was riffing, right? He was just making stuff up on the fly, but I kind of like I don't know. I like the idea. I would pose the question, I would pose the question to the community, what would a piece of land that is also a dungeon look like in Lost Relics? If players owned land that was also a dungeon, it was also like you owned either the dungeon or a part of the dungeon or, you know, something related to the actual gameplay experience. Like what types of benefits, what would be your theoretical like pros and cons? What would be your interesting gameplay ideas? What do you think could make it cool or make it fun? I kind of always have liked just the concept of we're going into these dungeons and players own the dungeons that you're going into. I mean, I don't know how any of the incentives would work, but like, I think there's something cool could be done with that idea is I guess all I'm saying. I don't know what that cool thing would be, but. Yeah, you dropped your bank account quick when you found out. Let's see. It's actually there in the MetaMask. Okay. Let's see. A piece of land that was a dungeon. Yeah, what would it look like? A good idea for land would be taking a percentage of the gold each player makes. Like for so then land would be a way to accumulate gold. Let's see. Striker, who will you add as your first friend on Lost Relics? That's an easy one. My wife. She's looking at me like, you're streaming way too long and I'm hungry. Let's go, you know. But no, my wife would be the very first ad on the friends list. Granted, if she decides to sign back in anytime soon, hey, you're ready. You're ready. We changed her laptop. So she's like, the Lost Relics is no longer an icon on my desktop. It's not an icon. I can't play it. And I'm like, well, you can go to the website, lostrelics.io. You know? And she's like, no, you're my IT department. And I'm like, well, that's technically correct. Oh, man. Do I have time for one more run? No more time for one more run? Okay, this is going to have to be it, guys. This is going to have to be it. I want to complete the last bounty. One more run of 10 minutes to complete the bounty. Be the perfect way to finish off a session. But no. I'm just kidding. You're hungry. We got to go. I'm just teasing you. I wanted to see if you were going to say yes. The boss says no. Everyone's saying El Jefe. Si, senor. Yeah, she did say fine. She did say fine. But no. I gotta cut it, guys. I gotta cut it. See, this is the part where now I can leave, like being like, no, you said fine, but we're gonna leave. I'm gonna leave for you, you know, and instead of actually do it. No, but we'll come back and we'll finish the bounty a little bit later. Hey guys, I hope you all had a blast. I did. Glad to be able to stream a little bit again. I say a little bit, but I'm sure we went for multiple hours there. I look forward to the future update. You know, I still have the tax season ending on Monday, and it's probably going to be a little hectic a couple days after that. So hopefully I'll get some time to be able to get some time to be able to stream with you guys some more, play a little bit more, grind up these bounty bucks. In the meantime, do me a favor, hit me up on Twitter. The Twitter handle is FMunozCPA, which I just typed there so you guys can see it on the screen in case you don't know how to spell Munoz. Yeah, just hit me up on Twitter. I like to share, pretty much I'm just following crypto and gaming related stuff, and I have some ideas about what to do with the channel after we get to be able to stream some more and make some more content. If you enjoyed today's video, please do me a favor, jump over to the YouTube, Strike Team Games on YouTube, and give me a follow there. You know, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. And if you're on YouTube watching right now, again, thank you all so much. Jump on over to Twitch really quick. I'm Striker_LR on Twitch. So, you know, most of my videos are going to be also, most of my VODs will be found on YouTube, so that if you didn't catch the stream, you can always check out the video on demand later. But I had a great time. Look forward to catching up with you guys a little bit later. Oh, and lastly, hit me up on Discord, guys. Anybody that, if you don't have me on Discord, send me a friend request. Here's the Discord link I'm posting here. Striker Cisco in parentheses. Cisco is my name. It's Francisco technically, but I go by Cisco. And hashtag 5184. So hit me up. Good hanging out with you guys. I will